I have to say, I'm very, very proud of you.
You're so welcome. It would have been even smoother if somebody could get their fucking Zoom working, but that's cool.
That's
Uh,
true.
oh, I guess I
Yeah.
should turn this music off now. How about that transition too? Hey,
Hey.
hey.
Ladies
We're
and gentlemen,
alive.
welcome to a very professional experience here on Zoom, Twitter. Fuck,
On Zoom.
I can't do it. Will bail me out, please.
Yeah, well, welcome back, everybody, to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will. I'll be your co-host today because Laurelania clearly has this down. I'm in Canada at the moment, hence why everything's fucked itself. If you've been following me on Twitter, my computer broke. I spent about 2 days on tech support, getting bits in as fast as possible, buying bits left, right, and center. We got that fixed, and then the internet killed itself, and now we're currently dealing with that. So.
Casna's a barbarian, right?
That's right.
She's a fighter.
She's a fighter. She's a fighter.
She's a fighter.
Nice,
How
right?
dare
She's a
you?
fighter.
Are you technically an Eldritch Knight?
I am. Yeah, with a rage.
So is Gregor, right?
I'm a warlock fighter.
I'm a lich.
Warlock
actually.
/ fighter. Oh, okay.
Meant to be.
Gotcha.
But yeah, all the possible technical issues could have gone wrong, did go wrong, so that's why I've been in a lurch a little bit. So the past
you
few
were
days. But we're back
echoey.
on. My echoey as fuck. Is it just
I think
the
your
room I'm
levels,
in,
your
maybe?
mic levels are like 10,000 possibly.
Maybe 10,000. They may be
Maybe
over
10,000.
9,000. If I turn it down a little bit like that, is that a bit better?
Oh, so
There we
much,
go.
yes.
That's
yes.
better.
The best thing
Alright.
that
The production on this show will go perfectly, okay?
Yeah.
Well, this is the day of jankiness. After
Look,
this,
guys,
it'll just be smooth sailing.
We'll fix it all in post, he says.
Somebody follow the stream so I can see if the rest of the shit that I put up is working. Will's like, here's this,
That's how we get
here's
followers.
this.
Someone unfollow, then refollow.
I think I definitely deserve a second hand for this, is all I'm saying.
Oh man, we'll see
I
what we
don't
can do
think
about that. But
Gregor's
yeah,
in charge of you. Getting
if only, if only. I guess we should do the thing in which we go around and talk about our characters, who we are, who we're playing. Tool School's not here today. Tool School's been dealing with the hurricane stuff. He's fine and well, but internet has died in his place. So the rest of us are here in his stead. But there's a big black hole where Tool School is in our hearts. But yeah, let's start today with let's start with Erho. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. We won a really big match this weekend in HGC, putting us in pretty much securing playoff range. So that's really good for us. So Aureus, I'm here today playing D&D. I'm playing Aureus Ferox, the Wood Elf Druid, the isolated Wood Elf Druid, and he's still continuing to find out a little bit about social nuances. His party seems to think he's sexually attracted to trees since he's turned down sexual advances from other characters. But other than that, glad to be here, doing well.
It's the only reasonable explanation, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't like women, must like trees, right?
Must be trees. Right? That's my go-to. Louise, how are you?
I'm doing great. My followers have been making me play Outlast, so I am in a spooky mood, ready for some dark fantasy, going from a dark game to an also quite dark world. So I think I'm in the mood, I'm in the zone. And I'm playing Kasna Vandry, who is a sister of Zune Vandry, who's played by the lovely Laura Lania, who is hosting the stream today and is doing a wonderful job at doing it seamlessly with no issues, and I'm proud. Kasna is she's a fighter, and she's in the middle of some love triangle at the moment. There's a lot going on, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go.
Absolutely. We also have, if you hadn't noticed yet, Lorelania. How's it going?
Hi. That's great, that's a nice smooth day. Everything's going according to plan. I'm also realizing that I have to remember to mute OBS when I do things like sniffle or cough, so I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm playing Zune, the necromantic dark elf wizard who cares only for herself, but now is starting to warm up to the rest of the party, whether she realizes it or not. I melted my hands off recently, and I got one of them back. And I had someone come into my stream the other day and was like, "How are you enjoying your new hand?" So, Earthen Lady, thank you. She is alluding to dark things with the hand, but she won't tell me what's going on.
Oh, God. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Fantastic. As for myself, I will be playing Gregor Tusken, who is the dwarf who can't lie, or when he does lie, he has to scream it out loud. At the moment, he's a fighter primarily, and also a bit of a warlock. And yeah, he has a pet ram named Gordon, and together they go on fantastic adventures, saving the world. Or getting drunk, and fighting shit demons, as has been the case recently. But that's just a blip. It's just a blip. But yeah, Josh, how are you doing today?
Yeah, there we go. I'm unmuted. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I've just had technical difficulties as well. I was going to say hashtag English problems, but Will has abandoned the realm.
No, he's still in Canada. God save the Queen. That's
The Commonwealth, yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay. I suppose I'll let you off. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I am looking forward to screwing everyone over. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when Torskor isn't there to hold everyone's hands.
We're dead. We're doomed. It's over.
You
It's
are
over.
gonna die. Yeah, no, so yeah, quick recap on last episode last week. You guys basically found out a little bit more about what happened to Kazna when Kazna went kaput and sort of ended up vanishing and woke up. You found that she was kidnapped. She was sort of led away by a bard, and this bard had sort of been blackmailed into helping a bunch of individuals who wanted to essentially sort of make terrible things happen to Kazna, and did in a way. And it all happened because they were holding her kids hostage. So the party has vowed to save her kids because the party are just really nice people. They're just the best, really, aren't they? The party also invented motorcycles.
The road reason.
Sorry about that. From two mics at the same time, so it's like double the effect. Sorry.
It was good. It was good. Yeah, but the party found their way to this bard's house and found that there was an elf there, a half elf to be precise, who apparently was sort of there to watch over her, to make sure that she didn't do anything bad. Didn't tell anyone what was going on, and he immediately surrendered and told the party that he wasn't being paid enough. Someone in the party decided to randomly gamble for no reason, his life, and various other things. And what he won was a game of I punch you in the face and then you punch me in the face with Gregor. Gregor punched him in the face, and then as Gregor planned to screw him over, he uppercut the entire room with a sonic blast and ran like hell. And the only person who actually managed to stay standing was Laura Lania's character, Zune, who made the bet in the first place and just sort of stood there like, huh, this is not how I expected this to go. As he ran out of the barn, and she sort of looked around at all her collapsed comrades. And that is where we left off. So you guys are sort of dazed, your ears ringing, confused, and your dear friend that you've just made has apparently just vanished. So before we get started on that, do some hooks and plugs.
Yeah, I do have one thing. Thing to mention. Well, first of all, of course, you know how to interact with today's show. If you haven't followed, follow. Here is a tweet for you guys, and of course, you can donate to today's show as well. You can get Players Net 1s, Net 20s, Wild Magic Surges. But we have some new science with us today. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, new science. So you know how viewer decisions used to work, or no, maybe still work. This is an experimental feature where you would we'd draw a straw poll. It would take like 5 minutes to do. We've got this new science with us, which means that when we have a poll going, we will show 4 options on the screen that you guys decide in the chat. We'll figure out a way to pick them. They'll show on the screen, and you'll be able to click the one on the screen that you want. And as your clicks come in, it will show us the biggest decider, I suppose, the most votes, which one has gotten, and we'll decide from that. So rather than doing straw polling, we're going to try the new experimental feature when we get to a viewer decision day. It may be a little janky because we haven't tried it before, and it may not be a smooth transition.
Because everything has been so fucking smooth today.
But that's the idea. So there'll be the 4 options. You'd be like to spam or click the one that you want. We'll test it. We'll test it in a little bit.
Yeah, thanks for giving me the brand new experimental thing.
You need to do nothing. That's the cool bit about this.
Good.
It doesn't involve you.
Good.
I planned it especially around needing no involvement with you.
I'm so thankful right now.
All right, let's hand it back over to Josh and let's dive into today's game.
Absolutely, nothing could possibly go wrong with new experimental tech. So, yeah, you guys find yourself sort of in a crappy, dilapidated wooden sort of barn, and Gavin pulls himself to his feet, looking confused, looking sort of stunned, as I'm sure everyone else is. Even the giant fucking spider that's on the roof, we don't like to talk about.
I forgot he was a spider.
Huge fucking spider currently on the roof. We're going to start off with the spider because spider rights. Hashtag be inclusive. Arrow. Aureus, Spider Aureus is currently on the roof on the outside, and has just sort of been hit by a concussive wave. So that's a thing. How does he react? He reacts in silence. It's okay because
he's speaking into a microphone.
Arrow is currently a spider and therefore cannot speak. He's a method actor, everyone.
He's method acting. He's still doing it. He's really into this role.
Oh, my bad. I was muted. My bad. I didn't take any of the hints. I was just like, ugh. So, anyways, I'm looking back at Roll20. Was I actually hit by this thing? I didn't need to make it. Oh, I was.
Yeah, it was a con save. You took a little bit of damage.
Okay.
I think it was about 12 damage. So it's not a massive amount, but it's more the fact that it knocks everyone prone and sort of entirely ruins your chance to sort of catch him as he flees like a crazed motherfucker.
Sure. I guess I would fall. How tall is the building? Do I take any falling damage from this? I mean, if I'm knocked prone as a spider.
I mean, yeah, no. You just sort of end up your legs sprawled out in every direction, like a cheap dwarven whore, as Gregor would say. And yeah,
hey, that's right.
On the roof or into the building, or do I fall? Or am I falling? That's what
you managed to sort of stay on the roof. You just sort of splayed across the roof. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. But you. I'm going to say you were the quickest to sort of regain, as it's easier for a spider to stand up than a human, because that's important. But what's more important is, do spiders sleep well?
There hasn't been a lot of science done on it.
No, I don't think Aureus would. This guy's gone, right? He's completely gone, correct?
You sort of turn and you see he's already made it out of the other side of the field. He's gone a distance of maybe 150 foot in a matter of sort of maybe 8 seconds. This guy moves like nothing. He's a leaf on the wind.
Like lightning, and I see him move this fast, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to take the damage, which is said like 12.
Yeah, you take it.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit there. I can't say anything. Squeakity squeak squeak. I'm a spider.
Squeakity squeak squeak.
I like to believe he actually does say that in Aureus's voice, but just as a spider.
Yeah.
Squeakity squeak squeak.
This is going to make some interesting stealth rolls if Aureus ever just woof, for I am a dog. Yeah, you managed to sort of bring yourself back up, and beneath you, you hear people getting back to their feet. Now, Zune, at the same time, you are still standing. How does Zune react to this?
So many more things to unmute now.
I
Zune,
set the
she's
same
standing,
hotkeys.
and my first instinct was we need to get to the druid's portal that he set back up to the tavern. We can beat him there. Get up off your feet. What are you doing? Stand!
They're just like, nah.
Look at my companions, like.
No, is this portal still up? Because I don't think it. How long have we been here?
You've probably been here about 5 minutes.
We were quite quick in
Let
and
me-
out.
Let me look at transport via. It doesn't last that long. It only lasts one round of combat, so it's about 6 to 10 seconds, somewhere in there.
Well, let's
It's,
start running.
We took it, and we it shouldn't be up anymore. You can try running to the. No, Zune can try running to the tree.
Zoom charges into the tree.
Aureus knows this because he casted the spell, I'm assuming, but he's not going to squeakity squeak squeak.
Do I
Wait,
recall
I speak
where
spider.
he put this portal?
It's the tree. You just run into sort of the tree, and it opens the last second. It's like if you're going to Hogwarts, really. Just believe. Just believe, Zoom.
I believe, and Zune attempts to run into the tree.
Zoom, you're gonna take a bludgeoning damage, just the one, but you can also take. I'm gonna let you roll it for me. It's a 1d10.
Zoo needs to take some shame damage as well.
This is going to be your shame damage.
good.
As my face becomes slightly more flat, I just kind of put out in front of me, fucking stupid druid can't cast a spell!
You bark in his general direction, but
with one hand, can I cast things?
yes, you can
Okay,
cast
I'm
it.
going to cast fly, and I'm going to head
she's
over.
off.
I'm off. Oh god, this is definitely centered. Oh yeah.
Flies into the tree.
I didn't think you're fast enough, guys. I just need a good run up. Okay, so you take off into the sky. Gavin sort of comes out and moves towards the tree, sees that the tree is no longer a portal, and begins to head back towards the market district at quite a pace.
If I'm flying, what's the speed? It's 60 feet, I think? No. Yeah, it's 60 feet. So I'm flying faster than he can. I can catch him no problem.
I'm gonna get up and where are we going again?
Back to the inn, and I'm going to start running.
I'll start running. I'm very dangerous.
Where's
over
Rorik?
short
Is Rorik
distances.
still with us?
Rorik
Rorik would never abandon you.
Rorik actually is there. He's holding the door open. The door is pretty much in pieces. Gregor sort of stepped through it, but he's sort of holding the door open for Kazna, and sort of gestures and starts
Rorik,
running.
hold the door.
He looks confused at you, and he runs after you guys. You notice that he doesn't appear to have any mud on him, as if he didn't fall over like a weenie little bitch.
Almost as if.
Almost as if. So yeah, you guys are running back towards town. What's Aureus doing as everyone's sort of taking off?
Aureus has no idea why he's even here in the first place. He just decided to follow Gavin. He's told to show up. He's going to start going back. Obviously, he doesn't know how to get here. He's in the middle of nowhere. He took a. Actually, yes, he does. He followed someone here, so never mind. What am I even saying? Yeah, he's going to start heading back towards the marketplace, the best place he knows how. Probably following Gavin.
Aureus
yeah,
walked to kill
still-
her boyfriend or something. I don't know.
I'm still a spider, though, so I really can't say anything.
Squeak.
I couldn't possibly comment on your relationship status, for I'm a
Who
spider.
am I to judge? I'm a spider.
And the non-judgmental spider sort of rushes after the party. And you guys sort of all make your way back to the marketplace at quite some speed. Give me a perception check, Zoon.
Did this little bugger off on me? Oh,
He
yeah, I'm so
This little
perceptive.
bugger has run into the tented area that is sort of all around the market area where you met Rorik for the first time, and he's gone. Like, you cannot see him. And he, like, you're pretty sure you should have caught up with him by now, but this guy moves very quick.
I will go and land back by my companions. I'm not going to be able to find him on my own. I guess I could stay hovered in the sky and see if he tries to, like, dart out of there in any which way. But he seemed to show some sort of magical prowess anyways, so... Yes, I'll land down by my companions, because it's likely he'll use some sort of illusion on himself. He seems to have gotten away.
Well,
shit.
How about we just go back to the inn anyway and find her children or whatever we're supposed to do?
I don't really care about the children.
I don't care much about the children, but I care more about whoever's holding them. Should I say in Dark Elven to her sister, I think it may have something to do with whoever took me.
Well, either way, we can take some out of your bounty since you owe me some money anyways, and I can scry where he went. Thank you, dear sister.
You're welcome.
Who drinks 40 gold, honestly?
Yeah, who does that? That's weird. That's strange. It's actually very, very odd.
Coming from you. Gavin, let us go and save the children.
Gavin nods, but seems actually a little out of breath, and therefore doesn't speak.
Classic Gavin.
Classic Gavin. He's always not speaking.
Or moving or doing anything.
He's the most static man.
I guess we make way with the giant spider, which Zune eyes rather warily.
Gavin.
That is the druid, correct?
Gavin nods, and then he just produces, like, a broom materializes in his hand, and he begins to do like a generic NPC sweeping animation. He's only got like 4 of them, guys, so please stop paying attention to Gavin.
He keeps saying the same line over and over. Yeah. We must
I have a question for DM Joshua. These followers that Aurea has seemed to have created, are they just discernible from like anything? Like have they started like marking themselves?
Anything.
I
mean,
from a normal
from the sun, for example. Could I tell the difference between them and the sun? Yeah, you would know that they don't seem to be very organized, to be completely honest. However, they are congregating around the area where you performed your ritual. They don't wear a uniform. They're not that organized. It only happened sort of 2 days ago. But they haven't sort of relented. There's still sort of loads of candles that are burning around the wooded area. They're still sort of there singing and humming and making noise. Generally, there's a lot of Gregorian chant going on there.
Okay, that's all I wanted. I didn't know if they were like wearing certain some things or doing something of note, but they typically tend to gather around where the treant was raised or made come to life.
It would seem so. They appear to sort of be. They seem to be waiting for something, as if sort of they're waiting to. They don't really know what to do now. They've seen this miracle and sort of they believe, but now they're sort of like some of them are just sort of like, I believe, but I have to go back to work. And they sort of have left. They with no one seems to sort of step forward. No one can speak Sylvan, so there's no great prophet or anything like that that's emerged from their rabble as of yet. Okay,
no, with I've seen with I have to go back to town. I'm going to keep going back to town.
Cool. So the giant spider sort of tears its way through town with a flying drow behind it, and people shit themselves and run in absolute abject terror. as a one-handed drow sort of flies above, and a huge spider, probably being ridden by 3 of the party, one of which being a drow, one of them being the most profane dwarf, and one of them being an eerily silent, creepy individual, a massive man, a hulk of a man who stares forlornly and silently as if it's sort of a vacant expression. And it's pretty fucking terrifying.
We use dancing lights to kind of make a beacon of us moving across the way too, because Zuna's ever so dramatic like that.
I said it already.
And I
You
wanna
can
use-
fuck 8 trees at the same time in this thing. You know that?
I want to use minor illusion to have like horns and things. Like
Oh yeah, I minor illusion my beard and my hair again.
So it's swaying in the wind. Right, I forget you're on right now.
Oh god damn! So yeah, you guys make your way sort of towards the tavern, and you arrive. You see that your dear friend Treebeard, who totally Gnarls Barkley is there, just chilling the fuck out, relaxing all cool, enjoying his life. And there are people gathered around him. You notice that people have sort of like basically wrapped. They've given him anklets. Essentially, they've tied like flower heads together, like into stems, and sort of like draped them around the ankle in sort of little knotted daisy chains and stuff. And he's just sort of staring at them, confused, as some like there's groups of them, and they'll sort of like push someone forward as an offering, and he'll come forward shaking in terror, place something at this thing's feet, and a lot of it's sort of like look, I made a sort of it's a picture, but it's made of different leaf colors, and it looks like a face, and it's beautiful. And here you are. So basically, he's being subjected to amateur artistic talent.
I very much would like to take the opportunity to superhero pose land in front of all of them.
Roll me a con save, as I hear superhero landings are tough on the knees.
Oh shit, that's right.
Give me an acrobatics. I mean.
Okay.
What if your leg just snaps
Oh
off?
god!
Now you have one leg.
If we have to find you a leg,
no, maybe.
So you come in for a superhero dramatic landing, and you sort of come down, and there's like you've nailed it because you come.
Everybody's looking at me.
Everyone looks at you. They look at you, and you hear like what sounds like a round of applause, but it's not. It's just like one sort of loud clap. Everyone claps at the same time. It's really bizarre. And then you realize that's actually no. It was more like not like a clap. It was more like a snap. And yeah, your leg has broken at the shin.
Ooh.
Doesn't hurt in any way.
I gotta give it a wiggle. I'm like, well, I can fly for 10 minutes, so I kind of hover fly.
Picasso just watches this happen, just like, oh, what did I do?
You need more respect for your body, girl.
As you lift up, your foot remains on the floor, along with sort of half of your lower leg.
Not in the Tuscan way. Just gross.
It's just standing there. It doesn't come with you.
Well, they needed something to begin the shrine to me with, and that's a perfect piece.
It's something to remember.
Something to remember. It's my foot, my undead foot. That's all you can leave.
Is so deep. So deeply wrong.
Can we just
Zuna's not laughing. She says that very seriously. Just laughter is so contagious with you.
Are we going to read into this at all?
Can we?
Are we going to address this? No. Okay.
This is every day of the Underdog. Go on.
Can we cast forward to the upcoming Drow Valentine's Day? Where what kind of admiration do Drow show? Oh, it's something to remember me by his
my foot.
I mean, actually, but
you have my foot and my hand.
no.
No more pedomancy for you, eh?
Someday I will ascend to lichdom, and none of my body parts will matter, is what I think. Let us go inside and save the children.
So I think it's pretty important for this point for Aureus to approach Gnarls Barkley and to shift back into his human form, as his 8 legs, curl back into his body. 2 of his legs turning into arms, and the the legs come together and turn to human arms as he picks stuff back up. It's good.
Yeah,
it's good. And he's going to tell Gnarls Barkley in Sylvan, we must return to the forest which you were raised. I must commune with Sylvanus there.
Gnarls nods, and as you guys sort of stand around and look at Zoom's severed foot, and Zoom sort of flies. Zoom, you're a little wobbly as you're missing your right hand and your left foot. So your flight is a little erratic. You are the first Iron Man, first trying to learn to fly. It's not going particularly well, but you managed to. I mean, you are not touching the ground, and that's a fucking miracle as far as the common folk are concerned.
No one understands my brilliance.
As you guys
wait for fly to wear off, just land on the ground, just fall over.
As you,
I will make you carry me, sister. I say in Dark Elven.
Kaz would like to pick up the foot just in case there's a way to reattach it because I'm carrying her around.
Oh no!
Pick up the foot. It's like you are the designated driver for the night. You're just like, oh, she's got absolutely legless. I'm gonna have to look after her.
This isn't the first time this has happened.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just need to cast Magic Jar and get this over with and stop inhabiting my own body. Really. I started looking around the crowd of commoners for someone that might appease me.
When the kids we need to save, shall we go on that? Let's go do that.
What was the bartender's name? It was
Clay.
Human McDumbface.
Human McDumb.
That's the one.
Clay. Which of the rooms that was not occupied by us?
He shrugs and just says, almost all of them.
Anyone but the ones that we've been in, I guess.
We need
Let's go fucking search around. Has he seen any kids around here? Clay, have you seen any fucking kids?
Of course he hasn't seen any kids. He has no idea that he's been duped. Or do you? Have you been in on this plot the entire time?
He looks at Kazna and he just says, no, I have not seen any kids.
He's lying.
He's like, really, really no. But he looks to Kazna and sort of nods, and then turns around.
Why is he nodding at my sister? What the fuck? Are you guys planning on having
anyone
babies?
you haven't
Simply
been?
saying that he hasn't seen any children. Now, Clay, if, for example, we were to spend an evening, which room would you not take us to? Just so I can be prepared.
Mine.
Well, of course, your wife. But...
Definitely not mine.
You know, we could kill your wife and it could solve all your problems.
He leans on the barge.
The fact that he considers it.
Like, not even in a jokey way. He just...
I'm not kidding.
No. I'd have to rename the bar.
So?
I'd have to remortgage the house.
No, I'd have to redecorate.
I'd have to redecorate.
I can't be bothered.
Sentimental. Ooh, look at that. That's a donation. An adult red dragon does a proper superhero landing in front of the party and attacks them for $10. I don't know if that's how that works, but for $10.
Well, £10 is a monster. There is a monster and an adult red dragon.
Fuck you,
So that's a thing now. So
that is apparently how that works. That's fabulous.
That's science.
Indeed. So yeah, you guys. He sort of looks at you guys and says, "So you, what is it you're looking for? You looking for like a bachelor pad or
your wife that is turning into a giant red dragon?"
We simply want to have a look at the rooms so we know which one we might want to partake.
I thought we were looking for some kidnapped kids. Isn't that a better way to get into rooms?
We are looking
You
for
want to
kidnapped
kidnap
children.
some kids.
No,
No,
there are
no,
children
quite
that
the other way round.
they have
Wait,
all.
I have got this the right way round, haven't I? We're not trying to kidnap kids, right?
No.
no, no.
Why was that?
Why did
Oh,
you turn
no,
into
no.
the vicar of Dibley?
Oh,
No.
This is what
Yes.
happens when you let the lesser races do the talking.
Oh, simply, there's been some children that have been kidnapped. We are here to unkidnap them and return them to their loving mother who does work for you here. And you can help us or you cannot help us.
How do I help you?
You tell us where the fuck they are.
Or open all of the rooms so
I
that we
have-
can search them.
Give us keys to rooms. I'll bust in. I don't care if I see people bollock fucking naked.
Where is Gordon Ramsay?
Gordon Ramsay is currently between Gregor's fires.
That's right, he is. That's where he's staying.
Gordon, I don't know if you can understand me, but you are the most intelligent goat I've seen yet. If Clay here doesn't give us the keys to save the children, I trust that you will do the job. I raise an eyebrow at him, see if he understands me.
Not.
We could just break the doors of the rooms down, but we are asking nicely. Could we please have the keys?
Look, if it will save all the damages, sure, but if anyone punches you in the face or sets you on fire or tries to kill you because you have stormed into their fucking room, then that's on you and I will just allow them to do it.
That's a risk I'm more willing to take.
Trust
Feel
me,
like
I've walked
being
into a
back
fair
home.
few fucking rooms before, and it gets messy, but you get used to it.
Okay. And he takes you guys upstairs, and he goes sort of from door to door, and he sort of like the first couple are sort of people are in there. Like he opens a door, and people are just sort of laying there like unconscious. One of the guys, he comes in, and the guy is straight up dead. It looks like he's just died in his sleep, maybe a few days ago.
I'll take
Starting
care of
to
this
smell
for
bad.
you. I'll take
Soon as
care
he
of
closes the door.
Don't worry about it. I'll take care of that for you, Clay. Not a problem.
Clay, Clay leaves. Clay leaves. He just
I'm not going to eat him. Nope.
Clay goes downstairs. He tells his wife that he's going out to the shop. He never returns. He walks into the ocean, and he sort of will nod and just shrug and just say, "Okay, if you want to clear up the bodies, then you fucking freak," and goes to the next room, and he knocks on the door, and there's no response. He shrugs and just says, "This guy's never in. Be quick." Opens the door, and the room is just a room. There's a bed. There's a
Motherfucker. I start looking for anything, one of the
Same.
stones.
Yeah.
You look around for a bit, and roll me some investigation checks as Clay just sort of looks at you and just says like, "What the fuck are you doing? Really doing?"
Investigate. Really?
What does it look like? There were some
I'm
captured
creeping around your
children,
room.
and it seems to have to do a little bit with this whole Lime Moor business.
Can you describe the person who owns this room?
Sort of looks, furrows his brow, and just says, "No."
You can't remember them. How charming. They've had a spell placed on you.
No, he just hasn't been here for like 2 months.
Well, then
Pays-
it's likely that the children are dead, and that this was an entire waste of time.
What? Right. Explain to me what, like, there are clearly no children in this room.
Your bard, the one that comes here and plays her lyre, she had children. She was coming to the bar every night and bringing people back to her abode to have them eaten or tortured or killed or whatever. I can't remember which. But she was doing so because her children were kidnapped by the man that was renting this room. We went and tried to confront the man that was renting the room at the bard's home in order to rescue the children. He had a contingency plan set in place of a stone which he would speak a command word into. If he did not speak the command word, then the children would die. He got away despite our best efforts. We came here in efforts to rescue the children, which is why we are talking to you now. There are no children here. There is no man here. Thus we are led to believe that we are duped, and perhaps that bard is in her home being killed by the same man right now. Oh, we should go back. Oh,
you guys straight up just left her there.
We might have made a little bit of a mistake.
Yeah,
I thought she was already dead. Oh shit, she was alive.
I just assumed she was
I thought she was so dead.
Well, she is now. It's a pity. She played a beautiful song.
So why are you here? What was?
Because we were hoping to find some sort of connection to the man into where he's taking these people, because I suspect that it has something to do with the town of Lymore and why all these
I know where
disappearances
he's
are
taking
happening.
them.
You do? Did this
Well, I
suddenly just
think-
dawn upon you, sister?
My concern was who was in this room. I thought we would find him here, but clearly not.
I look around in Infravision to see if there's anything that the lesser race's eyes might have missed.
Roll me an investigation. You're free to investigate.
Praise Curiosity. That's not a net fail.
No,
So that's a good.
on a 19, you sort of look around the room, and it's not until sort of like you sort of it's moving around. It's Kasna. Kasna just getting pissed off turns, and you hear her bash into something. You sort of catch it out of the corner of her eye as she turns. Her sword just hits the one of the bedposts, and you hear a sound. It's almost a hollow sound.
Gavin, could you be a dear and move that?
He pulls the bed out, and
I go to look at it.
it's a floor underneath.
So it's hollow like the post? I try to rattle the post and see if it'll come off, twist off, anything. Giggity.
You reach down and you look and you see that the post has been broken. The one on the bedpost has been sort of snapped or cut, and it has been carefully, painstakingly put back in place and sort of sealed in place with some kind of lacquer or glue or something. And sort of seeing that, you're able to just wrap your hand around it and twist, and you grab it, and as you twist, it crunches, and you see sort of like the adhesive break away, and you lift it up, and inside the post of this bed is a small, what looks to be a scroll. The scroll is quite small. There's sort of like a raven scroll. It has a seal on it, and there are a couple of coins, a couple of platinum pieces that are there as well. And
Sleight of hand?
yeah, roll me a slide.
What platinum pieces? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so
Because we don't have
Oh,
thousands of
man.
gold already. I just need to
Right?
buy.
Yeah.
The seal on the scroll, does it look magical? Will my eyes burn out and I go crazy if I read it?
you probably need to roll some kind of check to ascertain that.
Like an arcana, maybe?
An arcana, maybe.
The 26?
A 26. This is entirely unenchanted. In fact, there's nothing here at all apart from what looks like to be a stash of money, a key, sort of wrapped in this scroll that you can see has sort of it's been wrapped around and it has a seal on it.
Okay. I hold it over to Kazna because that's too much work for one hand. I make sure
I'll happily
at
take
first
it.
that I give everyone a superior look as I find where the clue is, and then give the kind of puppy dog eyes to my sister, like, fucking open this for me.
Aha!
Aha! I found
this.
this, but I...
It's a clue.
No, I will take it.
Well, you go over there.
I'm not sure. Can I ascertain anything from what I have in my hands?
It's a scroll and a
it's,
key.
Yes.
It's a scroll on the key. What you can tell is there is absolutely no money with it. You can tell that it's on the seal. The seal has the seal of 3 eyes. The eyes are sort of severed, almost sort of, they've been torn from sockets, and by the sort of optical nerves have been tied together in the center, and they're sort of spread out in a triangle, all looking outwards. This is the sigil that is melted into the wax.
Would I recognize this by any chance?
This is similar to what was described to you earlier on by the individual you spoke with. He mentioned that he was part of a group of individuals, a mercenary group.
Oh, you guys know what the fuck's that?
Well, it's a scroll and a key, and this symbol of the fucking eyes. Remember he was saying something about them?
Oh, yeah, his friends. People he works for or something.
Well, if
Does
there's a
the-
key,
Does the
there
key
has
have
to
any
be a lock.
markings on it? What kind of metal is it?
Do I have to unscroll the scroll to get to the
Indeed.
key?
Yeah.
I thought that's a bad idea, but fuck it, I'm doing it.
It's
I'm gonna
not
unscroll-
magical, I've already checked, and you know that I am excellent at discovering such things. Just open it.
Well then, I'll happily unscroll the scroll.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Explosion. There we go.
Oh
Do
no!
No, I'm kidding. It's,
No, I already made my big dramatic speech about being smart.
I know, and that's exactly why it explodes. It was a rebuke. So yeah, you guys are sort of there looking after the scroll. You sort of open it up, and within there is writing. The writing is in common, and it actually appears to be map coordinates.
Yes, he kept his end of the deal.
And it reads, "If I still live, you're a right honourable person. If not, die you fucker.
Fair.
Regards, C."
We could have killed him.
Then we would have been fuckers.
Oh no.
Oh, no. I mean,
no.
that is the worst name anyone could possibly fucking call me, Kazna. Fuck me.
Well,
Now, this has all been one fucking long fucking goose chase, and not a good kind of goose. The kind of goose that fucking pecks out your balls for no reason, just wants to do it. So, where is the end of this chase?
a
is the question.
Canadian goose, you might say. Sorry.
A Canadian goose
I
as
couldn't
well.
resist. Let us go and
These
find these
coordinates.
children. Yes.
Right, let's fucking save these kids to get the fuck out of here.
Yes,
place
I'm
is
getting
fucking
quite sick
weird.
of this place. No offense, Clay.
I'm
Is
starting
Clay
to
still
think this
there?
has got nothing to do with your boyfriend.
Clay left. Clay, he rolled a nat 20 on stealth while you guys weren't paying attention. It was just like, I'm going to leave now. And yeah, he is entirely absent. He moves surprisingly quiet for a big hulking dude. And yeah,
Woo, new sub.
Woo!
Hey!
Welcome, almost
Sorry,
man. 3 months. I
3 months.
appreciate it. How you
3
doing?
months sub.
Wow, you got way hyped and then so unhyped after that.
Aw.
Like, wow, and then you're like, oh fuck. Like,
I just feel out of place with the alerts popping up. Okay, it's scary and new and
it's
different.
okay. It's okay. How's it going, all this?
May you put up the follow, subscribe, and tweet numbers. My job ended at 3 o'clock.
This is off my time.
This is not my fucking problem anymore.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We're keeping manual track.
Thanks for telling me to do that, Will.
You don't need to. It's okay. I didn't want to burden you.
But yeah, you guys see on the map that it actually points south to what appears to be a building of some sort. It isn't labeled on the map as to what it is, but it is right on the border between the Orc territories and Zumora itself, the Deadlands. It's alone. It doesn't seem to be. It seems to sort of be out in the middle of nowhere, but it is uncomfortably far from anything habitable, really. And that is.
Bit of a ways out. We have to go on another fucking long march.
Hey! He said the thing.
He said the thing.
He said the thing. Oh, I'm so excited.
I mean, how much do we care about these kids? I mean, we do have a water fight, you know. We did have a quest. We did have a purpose, and all of us got fucked up with Kazna's boyfriend. But I'm not even sure it's got anything to do with your boyfriend at this point now, Kazna.
Well,
Are you calling my sister and I liars?
Yes, that's all you do is lie, and we
That's
both
fair.
know it.
That is fair.
I don't.
I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying it's what you are as liars. So, what I'm suggesting is maybe we fuck off out of here and not care about the kids, because I mean, this has got something to do with some weird book or some magic item or something that you two want, probably, right? You're not doing this out of altruistic fucking reasons, are you?
I want nothing but to sever the head of a certain man and his acquaintances.
Right, well, if you could be honest with me and tell me why and what's going on, then I might be able to help out. But I get the feeling I'm being fucked around right here. I don't really like the feeling of a big hard dick in my ass.
Rorik just sort of nods from the corridor. Like, there's a certain camaraderie.
Well,
you know.
I am incredibly interested in Lymore for my own
I'm
personal reasons.
also not a fan of dick in my ass. So.
That's right. So, Kazna, trust me, I can.
Yeah, I know.
I said, Kazna, please be honest with me. What the fuck is going on? Because if there's anyone you can trust to be straight up with you, I think it's fair to say it's Gregor Tuscan. Ooh.
Fine. The reason I wasn't here for your big fight, your big hurrah, was because I'd been overpowered. I didn't want to admit that there might be someone out there that was stronger than I was, but lo and behold, there was.
Oh, nonsense. They're not stronger than you. They're just smarter than you.
Thanks, Sue. Thanks.
I look like it's...
It's not an insult, yeah. It's just a fact.
Regardless,
who was this?
I don't know, some fucking elf. I was locked in this cell, and I don't know how long I'd been there for. Truthfully, still now, I don't know how much time I missed. But this man, this fucker, had friends, and they intended to take me with them to Lymore. That is where they are still headed. That is where they are going, and that is where I will find them.
It is possible that they are attempting to build an undead army in the town of Lymore, and if we do not go there, then the whole world will be captured by the undead.
They knew nothing of Lymore. They knew nothing of the stories or the tales. That's why they had me, because I happened to know a fucking song. You call them smart? Fucking idiots. They hear one person singing a song, they think, oh, fantastic. Let's kidnap her and take her there. She clearly knows everything.
Well, they've outsmarted the four of us plus Gavin so far.
I mean, it's an elf. It can't be
Gavin
that
just
smart.
sweeping.
Well, maybe you got lucky or maybe it is smart, but either way, they've been fucking us from step 1 to step fucking 12.
And if you don't like being fucked like that, Gregor, so not Gavin, sorry, Gregor.
No, he loves it.
Gavin's silent bobs in the background, like, what the fuck did I do?
I think there is one thing that we are failing to consider, that if they came after Kazna once, they will likely do so again, and I, for one, would like to catch them unawares instead of the other way around.
Well,
Well,
so
I'll tell you this
they-
much. If they fuck with Kazna, they fuck with us. All of us. So let's go fuck them back.
Kazna probably just goes silent then. She's just like, oh.
How do we best fuck them? That is the question. Because so far, they have been relatively unfuckable. And that's
Well.
not a state of being I like to be in.
I think the best thing that we can do is go to these coordinates and figure out what we're going to do from there.
As long as that's not what they want us to do.
Well,
it's
of
another
course it's
fucking
what they
trap.
want us to do. They literally wrote it on a piece of paper. However, my brain is better than all of theirs assembled into one, and we will be able to outsmart them. That's why they didn't come after me, you see. They went for my sister.
If it is true that they would want me again and they haven't moved on too far,
We could use you as bait, just like in
Exactly.
Menzo Branson. Or sorry, that's not the Underdark name here. Different realm. Just
Yeah,
like
new
back
Menzo
home.
Branson.
New
Just
Menzo
like-
Just like Mama used to make.
Branson. We could use you as bait, but how? We could put on some sort of stage saying that we've banished you from our companionship and send you out to the road, and you could traipse
So-
about all sad-like.
Okay, so let me get this straight in my wee brain. They captured you because they wanted to know about Limor, because you know some fucking song. Limor, scary bad place, undead stuff, army that they're probably looking to raise over there.
Mm-hmm.
They
Theoretically.
still want you because you escaped. So, in theory, if they thought they could get you back, they probably would take that opportunity. So, how about this? We try and lay some kind of trap, you know, the whole bait idea, and we can capture them. And then we can fuck them once we've captured them.
I don't think I could have put it more brilliantly myself, Gregor.
Thank you.
Sounds like a perfect plan.
Thank you. We're going to be captured like an altar boy on a christening.
Soon does not laugh. Indeed.
Internally, Zune laughs.
Internally,
Not even
Zoom
sure why.
laughs. Well, Kazna, I suggest you start getting really drunk and singing.
Now that
Yes.
is the sanest idea you've ever had, Zune.
I can't believe those words just came out of my mouth.
Spoken like a true dwarf, Zune.
Actually, I think it's rather elf-like, and I need to vomit.
Oh dear God. So,
Do we still have a giant spider who's just clicking away at all of this? Did you become people at any point?
yeah, no,
there, Aureus?
he's become, he's Aureus has vanished, I believe. As no
Oh,
one pays
gosh.
any attention, but Aureus has straight up vanished.
I lean out the window on my good leg and check to see if he is out there with Gnarls Barkley.
No, the tree is gone.
Oh, fuck.
Well, it was good knowing him.
I'm going to go and look for the elf. Kazna, start drinking. Gregor, I think you know what to do.
Copy that.
I go to fly to look for the giant tree spider elf that disappeared.
Okay.
I was wondering why Aureus had that smug ass look on his face the whole time.
So,
I look to Catherine and say, "So you want to get drunk, do you?"
Aye.
And the
So,
boyfriend's just standing there awkwardly, the ex-boyfriend.
Robert's just there like,
Rorik's just sort of like thinking to himself, like, I really should go back to work. Like,
What am I doing here?
I was literally.
drinking competition.
Rorik claps his hands together dramatically, and he says, "Hi, drinking competition sounds relevant. I say we all get as drunk as we physically can, and then I guess we start a bar fight, or it's pretty much how this goes, right?"
Don't worry,
Good
lads.
plan.
I am the master of this. And
As I'm
I
flying
head on
away, I
downstairs.
wonder which of the two dwarves can get the most drunk. That would be very impressive.
So Zune flies out. How long does your fly last for, Zune?
10 minutes, but I would have recast it if necessary.
Okay, cool. So Zune flies out again, and as she flies out to sort of look for Niles Barkley, we will cut back to Niles Barkley and Aureus. Aureus, somehow by that description, you sort of became Niles Barkley's sidekick. Just, I apologize, but yeah, that's a thing now. But yeah, Niles takes you sort of back towards the woods, and true enough, picked out in sort of in the late night, early morning light, you can see there are candles burning around the forest, sort of the small glade area. It's quite beautiful, really, or maybe not. Actually, I have no idea how Aureus thinks, to be completely honest. Maybe it's a terrible blasphemy. Who knows? But yeah, they are waiting, and they are humming. They seem to be a mass meditation, and there are elves who are actually meditating, and there are people who are sort of trying to meditate and struggling. It's a very peaceful place.
Until Niles Barkley shows up stomping around.
Oh yeah. People see you coming, and the crowd parts, allowing Niles to sort of enter the forest. Does Aureus say anything to these people?
Aureus, I guess he would shout a warning. If the fires spread to the forest, you will be doing Sylvanus a great dishonor. That's the only thing he would say about the candles. But as he's there, he's loving this, by the way. Aureus is glad to see that a lot of people here are taking up the mantle of Sylvanus. But he's find himself to be more of a neutral, kind of a lawful neutral now. So he needs to commune with Sylvanus, and he's going to tell everyone there in a large, booming voice, as long as he could shout it. I will now commune with Sylvanus to receive his orders or his will.
They sort of give a group bow, and one person sort of you hear sort of a group sort of muttering, and they all sort of seem to be asking someone to sort of speak on their behalf, pushing him forward, and he sort of stands up awkwardly, like stumbles slightly, and looks up and says, "We have left an offering, great one. Where the tree once took root, now there is an offering."
Aureus kind of looks at him. Okay. He's going to go look at it. He's going to go check out the offering before he says anything.
There is a shit ton of silver that has been, silver coins, silver candlesticks, stuff like that has been sort of put down in the shape of, like, they've tried to, like, draw a face. As you have pretty much spoken entirely in riddles and not really explained Sylvanus to them, but he has the word silver in his name. So they have just gathered silver and hoped that was okay. And
Aureus is able to understand that this is probably what... I mean, Aureus understands that Sylvanus, he probably gets it, right? They made a mistake.
People are strange.
Okay. Yes. Aureus will look at the silver and he hand on his face. You mean well, but Sylvanus is not silver. And then he will say, take. Go ahead.
See someone just slaps his friend. Just, I told you, idiot.
No. It is not your fault. It is mine. I forget that in these parts we do not speak Sylvan. Here, let me...
Slaps his friend. I told you, idiot.
Stop slapping your friend. It's not necessary.
A woman stands up, cuffs both of them. Sit down.
Someone cheered, Treepel cheered 25
Let me
minutes.
first I will, if you all truly are willing to follow the word of Sylvanus, I will... one sec, I gotta open my character sheet.
Also, welcome back, Treepel, after your your exile of like a year.
Oh my god, yeah. Holy fuck.
Oh.
Hey, bud.
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey. Hey.
Hey you, how you doing? That's what we're doing right now in the bar. We're like doing our worst impressions.
You know.
What I'll do, what Oris will do here is he's going to, seeing that no one really understands Sylvanus, he's going to summon 4 satyrs using conjure woodland beings who understand both common and Sylvanus or Sylvan. Sylvan. Yeah. So they understand the Sylvan language and common. He'll summon 4 of them for up to an hour, and as he summons these creatures from the Feywild, he will instruct them. I would like for you, hail friends. Of course, he probably knows some of these satyrs because he's been to the Fey realm, raised by Fey.
Gary,
Gary, Gary the satyr. I don't know. Yeah, he says he tells the satyrs, go forth now and teach these people. Begin teaching these people the language of Sylvan. Show them your worth. And then I will look down at the silver, and I'll shout back to the people standing around. Take the value of the silver and return here gem pieces, so that I may bind these creatures to the world, to this plane, to help teach you Sylvan, so that you can understand and commune with Sylvanus himself.
Fuck the silver. Bring me gems.
bring gem pieces worth 1,000 gold.
So yeah, Orius sort of gives his orders, and the satyrs sort of move out, and of sort of like a group of maybe sort of 25 individuals that are sort of scattered around. 5 of them just fucking run. Because satyrs are weird. They're just you literally summon shit, and all they know is demon summoning. So they just fucking run. These things have horns. It's get the fuck out of here time. But the rest sort of stay, and you see them sort of group up and begin to sort of speak to people. And it seems to sort of they seem a little. They very much share Orius's confusion with humans and people and civilization as a whole. They just don't really get people like hold up their hands for shaking, and they just sort of stare at the hand and then sort of take it as if to examine it, as if shake the hand. There's nothing in your hand. Why? What are you offering me? I'm very confused. But they seem to people seem eager and willing. And behind you, you hear the sound of Niles, his roots burrowing down into the earth again. And he's not sort of becoming a normal tree again. He just locks in place home back in his glade.
And so while the satyrs are talking to these people, I'm going to go up to Gnarls and then use divination here.
Okay.
Basically, I have incense, which I was able to gather earlier, and I'm going to take the bark, which I would assume is worth about 25 gold pieces from a magic land. Unless you're going to say I need something else. Needs to be a sacrificial offering appropriate to my religion, worth at least 25 gold pieces. I have the incense in the...
Yeah, that's no problem.
Okay, so yeah, I can ask a question. I'm going to obviously clean a Sylvanus as Orius, and I'm going to ask a question concerning a specific goal and event. I'm going to ask Sylvanus, what is his will with this party? Where should I go, and where should I spread, and help incur the balance of nature now?
There's a long pause, and you don't hear anything. Instead, you see lands that are full of. You see lands that are sort of torn and sinking, marshlands. You see buildings, elven structures half sunken into the ground. Their elegance sort of being swallowed and reclaimed by nature. Vines claiming sort of the marble type structures. And you see sort of the vines begin to recede, the elven structures begin to crumble, and you watch as sort of the water begins to sink. It begins to sort of withdraw, and the marshes become sort of uneven but virulent grassland. And it's almost as if you're watching time sped up at an incredible pace. You see sort of small insects and stuff sort of return to the area, as well as animals that come to graze in the area. There are deer, there are small animals like rabbits and that sort of thing. And then over time, you watch as sort of like an ecosphere forms. And it happens very quickly. It's sort of like, it's almost like watching an entire film, but on a super fast forward. And then it is gone. And that is what you see.
Okay, would Aureus know that this is probably similar to the marshlands that was, or what are they, the ghostlands? I forget what they're called. I'm sorry.
As the marshlands, or the deadlands.
Yeah, the deadlands. Would Aureus know that this is most likely the deadlands based on his character knowledge?
Yeah, you
Okay.
probably would. Yeah.
Okay. So Aureus, seeing this, would know that he has to leave this place, and he would tell everyone around that obviously the people that are trying to worship Sylvanus or him, he's not really sure. He would then tell them and the nearest people by him that I must leave these lands. However, I can leave one of these satyrs to help teach you the way of Sylvanus, and you can regard these forests now as holy. But I will require the gems worth at least 1,000 gold pieces, so that I can bind one of the satyrs here.
They're gonna try. They are not rich people.
And then Aureus would then. Do I have any gold on me from? I have 500 gold pieces on my character right now. I don't know if I've gotten my reward from killing the shit monster.
I'm not sure you were.
I don't think I have.
No, I don't think you've claimed it.
Aureus doesn't really. He has gold on him. He has 550 on him right now. He's just going to take all the gold he has on him right now, and he's going to throw it into the circle with the silver. And he's going to say, "Bring back what you can, 1,000 pieces with the jewels."
They sort of, someone comes forth and one of them runs forward and he takes off his traveler's cloak and sort of throws it onto the ground like it's like a picnic blanket and begins to just scoop all of the money onto it.
As he does this, I am going to, or Aureus is going to thorn whip him.
He is thorn whipped.
He's gonna thorn whip this person and pull him really close. Is his goal. I'll do the damage for it. 9 piercing damage.
You almost kill him. He has 10 hit points. You almost murder this man. He is going to bleed to death.
And I thorn whip him and pulls him close and says, "If you steal this money, you will feel the wrath of Sylvanus." And then seeing that I've probably hurt this man, I will touch him. Actually, I can't. I can just healing word him. I don't have. I'm gonna put that down to 1. There we go. And I'll cast healing word on him too. If I can cast a spell, why can't I cast a spell? Come on. Oh, there. Level 1. Level 1 healing word on him.
Cool. So you leave him. You don't heal all of his injuries, but you leave him sort of with sort of vicious cuts around sort of his chest, and sort of almost like it's gone around him like a belt loop, and it's sort of cut into his chest really deep, a nasty gash. But then you heal it and you just leave sort of like a red line that looks incredibly uncomfortable, that bleeds sort of in spots. And he sort of collapses to the floor, just clutching at his chest and holding his arm and trying to like hold his entire circumference.
What is your name?
Danye.
Danye, since you are so eager to gather the offerings for Sylvanus, I will put you in charge of bringing back as much jewels as you can with the silver and the gold I've laid out.
He looks fucking terrified, and he just nods frantically. Okay. Yes, of course, Sylvanus's will.
Have I found him at this point, just by chance?
He wasn't there for any of the investigation or any of that, so
okay.
It's taken you some time. But yeah, you'll be along in just a moment as he's sort of holding on to himself, and he nods and says, I'll see that it's done. We'll do whatever we can.
Aureus points at Danye and shouts, "Now you will see that balance must be preserved. Greediness is not acceptable in Sylvanus, only the balance of nature. You will see that you will be punished. Breaking the balance is the first tenet. We must punish all those that do that." However, Sylvanus rewards those that hold up the balance. As you can see, he's been healed of his wounds.
He sort of like tries to do the mental arithmetic there and just sort of nods enthusiastically. He's alive. He's happy. And he turns and he sort of holds his hands up, almost sort of in sort of like a praise Sylvanus sort of. He looks entirely confused and bewildered, but he holds his hands up, and the people in the audience lap it up. They sort of, oh, yeah. And so there's like a round of applause, but some people are bowing, and other people sort of drop to their knees. They're not really sure what the doctrine is, but the general elation is felt. And soon you arrive to see this man sort of standing there, holding himself. His clothing is torn. He looks a little terrified, to be honest. There's sort of splashes of blood across him, but he's standing and he's holding his hands sort of high to the heavens.
Well, in the heavens is where he sees my fucked up body. I was going to just kind of hover above and kind of spy on them, but since he's now doing this motion, I guess it's just kind of, oh, hello.
He's sort of looking up. Everyone else is just sort of like assuming that he's looking up at the gods or something like that. They can't quite make you out through the trees, the canopy. But he's looking straight up at you and is just very fucking scared right now, as the undying heroes seem to be paying attention to him. For better or for worse.
Poor Danya.
I just want to continue watching to see what Aureus's plans are here. I want to see if Zune can put two and two together. She'd like to essentially spy on him for a little while, so she brings a little finger up to her lips and goes, shh, and just continues watching.
Yeah, he says absolutely nothing. Roll me a stealth check.
We do also have a viewer decision to bring in.
Indeed. Don't worry.
I am so stealthy.
So Aureus, you see something in the air that flies like no bird you know, for it is in fact only half a bird. The other half of it is necrotic, rotting flesh. It is a woman. It is Zune is in the air. Oh, Zune is in the air.
Aureus sees Zune and just shakes his head. Oh, not this. I don't want to have to deal with this now. And then he looks around. He says, "Continue now. Bring back the gold pieces worth 1,000, and I will turn this area into a sacred learning area. I will return here often. I will send my my bound elementals and fays here, and I will return often to preach the word of Sylvanus. I will also ensure that there is always a satyr here to help teach you of the Feywilds and to understand Sylvan."
People just listen with rapt attention. You're promising a lot of stuff. Most of them sort of are looking forward to, maybe eating tomorrow and stuff like that. You are next level shit. Their worries up until this point have been sort of, where's my next meal coming from? Do I have enough gold to pay off whoever's running the local protection racket? Will I die of some horrible, very preventable disease that we just simply can't afford the medicine from? And here you are, making what appears to be a monastery.
Would Aureus know this too? Would Aureus know this, that people are starving here and they want food?
I mean, you might be able to tell by the malnourishment.
Yeah,
they all are looking kind of Zune-ish.
Aureus would just straight tell them, if you grow crops and help flourish the land around, I will come and whenever I can and help enrich the crops here.
I will remind you, Aureus was literally told that there was mass famine that was coming.
Yeah, no. Aureus would say that this area and around these trees, if you preserve them and hold them up to the standards of Sylvanus, and each time I return, I will enrich the crops around these lands.
People look at you and just say, there's a couple of people who call out and say, what should we do? How do we preserve it?
Grow crops in the area, and I will gladly grow the crops.
Aureus, these people may not have been farmers. You have to tell them how.
Aureus doesn't know how to farm either. He's like, talk to the farmers. I did meet one a half-orc couple that own a farm very nearby. Speak with them. They can speak to my ability to grow crops.
Some of them walk off in that general direction. One guy picks up a halberd that he's sort of carrying. He seems to be sort of a mercenary type, and he walks over to the nearest tent, sort of on the outskirts of the woods, and sort of reaches it over, hooks the axe blade onto the main pole, and just pulls the tent down with people in it, and then looks at them and says, "This land is being claimed in the name of Sylvanus for crops." And they look at him like,
does her best not to fucking just burst out laughing. You really are a people person, Aureus.
Aureus says, "No, don't dishevel people from their homes." No.
You do.
He looks back and he says, "But it is for the balance. We must reclaim some of the land for crops. Yes?
You will need to find...
It is... No, Zune, quiet!
You do not... You know what? Elf, I see that your intentions here are pure, and I will leave you to it. The Undying Heroes, everyone, and I fly back. Like, fuck you. Fuck
Forcing people
shit.
out of their homes is not the correct way to... You may ask them to leave. Well, their tents are in an area which there would be rich crops, but forcing them out of their homes, that is not the way. So, unless they are, of course, destroying nature, which they seem not to be.
He looks confused, but he nods.
Trying to do all this about like a legal code or a religious code.
Okay, Aureus is lawful neutral, so he's trying to follow the code here, but like, these people have no idea what the code is, so...
No, he's just like,
As
yes.
I'm leaving, because I hate Aureus, I would like to take the 75 gold pieces that I have and begin giving them to the commoners. The Undying Heroes. Please, feed your families.
Please tell me you're just dropping gold coins on people. From
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah.
Burns.
Fucking peasants.
So with those instructions, Aureus is going to take his reverie inside the branches of Gnarls Barkley.
So Gnarls sort of unfurls, and he comes apart like one of those trees, which sort of splits apart, and his branches form low and sort of cocoon you, giving you solitude and sort of blocking away the outside noise.
Yeah. He needs to recover his HP and spell slots.
I make my way back to the tavern, 20 gold pieces fewer, and with a tale to tell.
So yeah, you come to sort of like hover in front of the tavern doors, and as you go inside, a figure steps out, and she looks at you, cocks her head, looks down at your missing leg and your missing hand, smiles, says, "You must be the one I've heard so much about."
Many people have heard about me, yes, it is likely. What can I do for you? Are you here to pay reverence to me?
No. I'm here because you threatened me on several occasions.
I've threatened many people on several occasions. Could you be more specific?
Very well. I'm Clay's wife. Roll me initiative, please.
I start laughing before initiative. Fuck.
I like to think that
you
we're drinking
know
with
it's going
Clay
down.
inside the tavern and everything's fine.
Fuck you. I mean, you bitch. I mean, fuck you. Shit.
I'll just check her modifier in a minute, but I get the feeling
It's like
you
plus
will have to-
100.
Wait, what did I miss? What's going on?
Plus,
Oh,
plus we don't-
nothing. Nothing
Why is
at
initiative
all.
being rolled?
Clay's
No.
wife is fighting Zune.
What? What?
I mean,
Yo.
Why can't Aureus be here for this?
I know.
I'm gonna be
I'm
fine.
really-
I've survived so much worse. What could one angry little human woman do?
she appears to be human. She's quite short.
Of course she appears to be
Gets out her
human. That's the
massive
worst.
+5 cleaver.
Yeah. So yeah, you are absolutely going first. She's quite short. She appears to be wearing she's wearing a sort of very traditional tavern wench sort of outfit. Sort of a floral, a flowing blouse. Some sort of I don't know what the term is.
Men
Yeah.
trying to describe women's clothes. It's just like
It's
It's
pretty,
like-
so pretty.
The bit that goes.
The thing. It's a colour. It's usually a colour. So
White. It's a white blouse with sort of corseted.
So this,
What am I describing? She is a common-looking woman.
so
Fuck
this
you.
human is threatening me, and it's the wife. I
Yeah.
laugh, and I guess I hold action to see if she throws like a pitiful punch at me or something. Like, if you're a human, I will turn you into a rat. Ooh, I'm gonna turn her into a rat.
Fair enough.
Actually, yeah. Can I reverse that hold action? Just polymorph her for fun.
Okay. What's the save?
I have
one?
thrown that in there, and the save is
Wasn't saving throw
Okay.
against her spell DC, I believe.
yes. My spell save DC is 16. Holy fuck! Why has she got so much to modify her shit?
wow.
As I cast my spell and nothing happens, I kind of get that. Oh fuck! That's not right.
Indeed. And she sort of looks at you, smiles, cracks her knuckles, and she takes a step forward, and her foot moves unnaturally, as does her leg, as it seems to almost like it dislocates. You hear like the popping of bone, and you watch as her feet stretch. Her foot suddenly sprouts a pair of talons that punch through the shoe that she's wearing.
Would
And
I
the-
make an intelligence check?
Yeah.
Okay. Intelligence is my thing. I'm pretty smart.
Indeed. You look at this. This is a shapeshifter of some sort.
Hmm.
This is not good. It's not good because you're not sure what kind of. I mean, it could be really easy. It could be, but it's the unpredictability that.
Do I hear that from inside?
Well, you're getting
don't even
drunk,
know
so
what that
maybe
was.
not.
I don't even know what you said.
I heard a.
I think I heard you say Trogner.
I yelled something. I put
That's
my hands
growl
over my
over
mouth
it.
because I wanted to recreate the muffled door effect and screaming and horror. So
Well, it's pretty accurate. We have no idea what's going on out there.
There's also an actual door. So it's
yeah.
You hear?
No,
you hear-
Zune didn't do that. I was never mind.
You hear screams as outside, guys, as Rory just sort of looks at the door, looks to you guys, and just like, so we drinking
We
still?
keep drinking.
Or,
Of course.
hey,
Can I
I fucking hate
can I
you.
do a check to see if I can figure out that that's Zune screaming? Or would I know? I know the
I
sound
mean-
well,
of screaming by now.
Not in fear. Zune doesn't scream unless you remember the sound of me screaming from our mother.
What a bitch she was.
Yeah, I'm glad she's dead.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
good time.
You guys.
Happy Drow Mother's Day, everyone.
Yeah, happy
We do not celebrate that day.
No, it's not a day.
Yeah, so roll me an intelligence check.
Come on, girl. Come on, girl.
I'm
I
hoping.
really need you here, baby. Oh, fuck you, you dumb piece of shit.
Whatever it is, it's probably not too relevant.
It doesn't.
That's
People
fine.
scream all the time. It's a
Cheers.
war. Fuck.
So, yeah, she takes a step forward. Her foot sprouts outwards, and as she takes another step forward, her foot punches through the bottom of her shoe, and she's suddenly lopsided as one leg expands and grows, and it looks like she's going to fall over, but she leans forward and begins, like, her arms stretch out, and you see that there is some kind of horrible infection spreading over her skin. It appears to sort of be like crusty or scaled, and she is now on all fours in front of you, and something unfurls from underneath her clothing, tearing it away. Her jaw extends outwards. You hear the sound of bones cracking, breaking, and expanding, teeth growing, and very quickly she doubles, then triples, then quadruples in size. And you have a red dragon staring
Of
at
course I do. Of course
As
the
you
woman that I've been
hover-
casually insulting is a fucking dragon. Because why not? Because the Long March, everybody. Fucking viewers.
Glad I'm
Awesome.
not there. It's
Um.
all my fault, but glad I'm not there.
Oh, you just gave me a good idea, you fucking cow. Do I have time to say anything after that scream, or?
Yeah, she spends her turn morphing into this thing in front of you.
Your husband's
her-
been cheating on you with the woman inside.
Roll me a deception check.
That's truth.
It's almost true.
It's
That's a
mostly
20.
true.
Nothing has happened yet. Fuck me.
Yeah,
If
I
he
bet you
did,
wish you kept your
he'd be in
fat mouth
trouble.
shut, didn't you?
Listen, I've got Gregor and Rorik. I'll be all right. I've got the squad. We're fine.
Okay. Damn. She on a 19. She's not sure. She hesitates.
I can provide proof by explaining this to you with words, which I am so eloquent at using. There is a bard woman who has been coming every night and singing songs and luring your husband to bed. I can show you where she is.
She cocks her head, and you're not really even sure if she can speak. But then you hear a guttural sort of roar, sort of building deep in her throat, and she looks up, and you were sort of floating in front of her. It's unusually quiet in the street at the moment, almost as if there is no one in any direction, as if people have fled. I think cameras just moved around.
You fucked my scenes! Well, you know what I'm
breath.
gonna do about
Deep
that?
breaths.
You know what I'm gonna do? No, it's fine.
Okay. That's cool. We'll work through technical difficulties.
Yep, keep going. Just keep talking.
Will is sorry, and as penance, his character will be castrated to apologise for the fact that his neck keeps crapping out. And yeah, she doesn't see. She sort of seems to be in two minds about it, and finally, you hear a voice that says,
IRL, bro.
Uh-huh.
"And why shouldn't I just kill you, and then find somebody else to tell me where this bard is?"
That would be a wonderful idea, except for the fact that we were in the process of saving the woman's children, and I'm sure in order to get the most proper revenge, you would want to eat her children in order to cause her do harm. I can tell you exactly where they are. I'm one of the only people that knows.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Fuck! No advantage there because she's, feeling angry.
Particularly warm towards you.
God damn it!
Oh no!
Oh, it's okay. He'll come back.
He'll be back.
So we apologise for cameras there. Will is having hashtag Canada problems.
Hashtag Canada problems.
Indeed, it's we are under the impression that it's okay. It's, this is the problem with having a modem that is made entirely of stacked up hockey pucks and just drizzled in maple syrup. It's not always
made to last.
Does my character happen to know anything about dragons at all?
You probably wouldn't know much about dragons. You can roll me a nature check. Dragons keep to themselves in the north. The Dragonlands are protected. Dragonborn even are an uncommon sight. Dragons themselves. On a 19, you will know what is it you're looking to know specifically.
One, that I should act like she's a god. Two, that I have a lot of money, and red dragons like money, and I will give her money to let me live. I will give her all of my money to let me live. All of it. You can have it all.
You take my money!
It is all yours. There seems to be a bit of a misunderstanding. I can give you anything you like, most magnanimous. I'm sorry I didn't get your name.
She smiles. Akira the Dread.
Akira the Dread. Oh, what a beautiful name. So stunning. Akira the Dread. There should be songs made. Why are there not more songs? I will make more songs about you. I have the location of these children. Happy to help you punish your husband. We drow are quite good at punishing males. And I have quite a bit of gold that I would like to give you, should you deign to let me live.
She suddenly is very close to your face.
Oh, man. Dragon fear, dragon fear, dragon fear, dragon fear, dragon fear.
She doesn't do it, but there is a dragon like right in your face as she seems to almost be inhaling your scent. It's an unsettling experience, to say the least.
Dead children, gold, punishing husband.
Show me where she resides.
Oh.
Bring me to her abode.
I would be happy to. That portal's fucking closed still. God damn it. I guess I'd lead this dragon over to the lady's house.
So yeah, she sort of flies behind you, and people panic. People at this point, some people don't panic. Some people just continue with their day. They've had demons. They've had you fucking guys to deal with. They've had shit monsters. They've had giant trees. There's a fucking dragon now. Some people just realize that if they take another day off work, they'll probably lose their job. Their boss is like, I'm starting to not believe any of this bullshit you give me when you come in the morning.
On the plus side, we don't have to rescue any children if the mother is dead.
And she comes to a stop, sort of at the farm as you sort of come to the building. How do you show her sort of where it is?
This is the home of the harlot.
Bring her out to me.
I go inside, and do I see her in there?
You get to the door. I need you to do me a favor. Can you roll me a dex saving throw, please?
She's gonna burn me and the house. Fuck. Fuck. Please don't burn me in the house, just the house and the whore who's not really a whore. I was just going to show you the door. Red dragon, red dragon. I think you're great. Oh
That's my
fuck, that's
new
a
song.
lot of numbers.
How many hit points does Zune have?
51.
51. You were not instantly killed. However, you were dropped in one volley as suddenly behind you, you feel heat. And from your quiet abode, Aureus, you hear the sound of it's hard to describe. You hear an explosion. It's a scream, a guttural snarl.
I got the door, don't worry. Sorry.
And yeah, then silence, and then you hear screams begin to pick up. Zune is almost entirely eviscerated by fire, and yay, it's what we wanted. And there's you guys in the bar don't hear this. You continue sort of drinking. Everyone, give me a con save. Actually, give me 3 con saves.
Oh, great.
That's
Oh, it sure has been a while since my dear sister Zune was here. I'm sure she's fine. I'm going to keep drinking. Life is good.
Fucking hate
life
you.
is good.
And I'm doing well with my drinking.
Yeah, you're starting to fall off towards the end there, but you're feeling pretty good.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling spicy.
Spicy. I'm gonna need. I don't know if you can roll. Will.
Yeah, I'm not rolling at the moment. I'm trying not to speak too much because I feel like I'm probably a robot.
I should be able to roll on your character sheet.
Yeah, I'm on a +4 on my con, I think, something like that.
Okay.
That's a 6.
Might be a good time to do our viewer decision.
Yeah. I'm just gonna bring that in now. So yeah, you guys are drinking pretty heavily. Kazna, both of these dwarves actually seem kind of lightweight-ish, as they're both a little
Amateurs.
drunker. They're drunker than you are. You're absolutely convinced, or maybe you're just that kind of drunk.
That's winning for us, though.
Gregor, you're sober. You're entirely convinced you're sober, and Rorik is absolutely
sober.
Rorik is shit-faced drunk in your mind. Like you look at Rorik and you're just like, he can't even fucking look at him there. Can't even stand up straight as you're sort of like half fallen off your chair, just looking at him, just like, what a twat. Yeah. So, guys, you have someone in chat. The wonderful power that is chat has condemned Laura Lania's character Zune to being burnt alive to a crisp by a dragon that she pissed off. Who is it that finds her? Who is it that finds Zune's smoking, maybe corpse, maybe not corpse? As Zune, I need you to roll me 3 death saving
Oh
throws.
god.
As there is no one close enough.
I was gonna say Aureus is, but he's in reverie right now. I don't know if he even.
Death saving throw number 1. Go.
If you
that
dare
is not.
die.
1 fail.
Oh no!
Death saving throw number 2. That is a swing and a miss. Death saving throw number 3. That's okay.
Okay, that's 1 success. Okay. I'm gonna need another one.
I don't want to. Oh no!
Oh no! The dragon killed you.
Oh, you better sing stories about me.
No. So, who is it that chat? Let me rephrase the question. It's like, who finds Zune's burnt corpse?
I should have cast that magic.
Yeah, we need the viewer decision, guys. I'm going to take 4 of our favorite options for this one because we're doing it in a new experimental one.
Experimental, yeah.
Science, dead people science.
I don't know if we did that at the same time. So, yeah.
Oh god! All right, which ones do we like, chat? Oh, team.
Science the fuck out of this shit. Okay.
I like a drunken dwarf with a full bladder.
Zune's dead.
I can't. What about Drow Easter? We were so close.
You are the only one to carry on our lineage now.
Oh my god! No, but Drow Easter is all about the rebirths. So maybe you'll be rebirthed.
You fucking bitch. I'm not even dead for 2 minutes, and you're already making jokes. I hate you.
I'm actually so upset that you're dead. I don't know what to do. What am I gonna do?
I mean, if Aureus finds her, I could reincarnate her, but she won't be the same.
Yeah, no.
Please don't. I'd rather die.
As long as you haven't been dead for as long as 10 days.
Oh, look
I
at
can
this
bring you
thing!
back as
Look
like a
at this
dwarf.
thing!
Science is
Look at
happening.
this thing.
Look at the screen, everybody, on your favorite option.
How do I
New
do-
sciences.
I
You
can't
have to
see
go
it.
onto the stream, you click on it. You
Oh,
click
no,
on
I
what
see it.
you want, and the bubble will begin to fill. The more votes that come in, the bubbles will get larger and stuff like
Oh,
that.
cool!
I don't know if it's working.
It's working for me. I have
It will,
Aureus
yeah.
at 100%.
Yeah, it'll begin to catch up.
Cool!
And then you can like spam click as
Woo!
well if you want. So you can the new science.
I can't click. It won't let me click.
I can't click. Oh my
It's
God.
so
Try a refresh.
interactive.
Yeah, try a refresh if it's not working for you. Maybe your mobile.
Okay.
Oh, it's working.
But I'm going to open up on everything and try it. Encounter science.
At my science, everybody.
Wow, that's really cool, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Okay, right. So, Laura, if you want to basically just start sort of, if you want to come up with a framework for a character, you don't have to sort out like the full character, get that all sorted. But just if you want
We
to.
actually did it. We actually killed Soon. You know what killed Soon?
It wasn't you. It was who was that cunt that donated? You.
Are you allowing me to reincarnate her if I find her body, or is that something that just no?
You would need the gems required.
Yeah, I need oils and unguents worth at least 1,000 gold pieces.
Your people
So-
are getting gems.
I'll tell you right now, Aureus won't want to resurrect her, but if Kazna would provide the regions for it, maybe he would.
New character.
If
How
Kazna knew.
What would
No one knows that she's dead yet.
what would you
No
be
one-
getting her to look like?
It's a roll. It's a 1d100. She could literally end up anything between let me see here. I'll put the chart. This is funny. It's a
Kazna?
random race.
Do not let this be the second dark elf on 2 roleplay shows that gets resurrected as something that's not a drow.
Those are the rolls. So she could end up between anywhere between a dragonborn and a tiefling, half elf, a gnome, a rock gnome, a forest gnome, a high elf, a halfling.
Oh no! But what is?
And, the thing is though, like
There's a very slim margin for it to be a
Aureus would not prepare reincarnate today, and he does not have the regents on him. He has no reason to prepare reincarnate as a spell.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely not. There's no point in preparing it if you cannot cast it because you don't have the stuff.
Right, exactly. I'm not looking to reincarnate anyway, so
Yeah. So
I think
so yeah, you guys. I think Zune.
will be
Rest it.
missed.
A moment
I
of
have her leg.
You have something to remember her by. You do. Holy shit.
never a foot. That's awesome.
We have a little,
Little foot.
a little mangled run.
Half elf something. I'm gonna be a half elf something. I don't know what it is yet.
Okay.
I'll get back to you.
We
Okay.
could poll it.
Yeah.
Fuck your polls.
Oh.
Fuck your viewers. No, just kidding. Fuck your dragons.
But yeah, dragons are fun. Dragons. That was literally one hit. What a beautiful moment. Yeah. So if we learn anything one day, it's never slag off the tavern keeps other half because she could be a dragon, guys.
That escalated quickly.
It did.
Tia, who won the straw poll
It has a 41% a child.
there? A child.
Oh my god. Okay.
was
So, guys, we see a figure sort of moving along over towards the burning down farm.
What happens to Morty? Oh my god, no,
Are you-
Morty!
Are you
Morty.
there? Yeah. So you you look, we see sort of a body lying on the floor, charred and broken and burnt beyond all recognition, and a figure comes along, small figure. It's a child wearing sort of raggedy clothing, and this child sort of comes towards the farm, which is ablaze. The few crops have just burnt to stumps. There's very little left, and she comes and over to this figure that has been sort of tossed clear from the explosion, and looks down at the flaming body, sort of charred beyond all belief, all recognition, and leans down and looks around and begins to, it would seem, go through her pockets.
Probably gonna be eat the body.
And yeah, we're
just drinking it up in the tavern right now.
you're just getting drunk. So we're gonna come.
I would love to see that Zune just get eaten by a dragon or something.
So Kazna, you're just having a good time, really.
Do I feel like a disturbance in the force?
Roll me. You know what? Roll me an Arcana, or nature, or roll me something that you feel would be relevant. I don't know what the fuck.
Relative to the disturbance in the force. How about strength for how strongly I feel about?
I want to be a fucking bard.
Yes, you do. Join the master race.
Yeah.
What do you want me to roll?
Just give me a 1d100.
Great.
This is going to be a divine intervention.
All right, Luke fucking Skywalker over here.
That's a 34.
You feel sort of an unsettling in your stomach, and sort of you feel like this sudden stabbing pain in your gut, as if something terrible has happened. And it's sort of like you feel it building, sort of bubbling within you, sort of like this confused feeling. And then you belch loudly, and everything is fine once again as you just burp loudly.
To the health of me, my sister, and our party.
And yeah, you continue to drink, and sort of some time passes. You get pretty drunk, and suddenly someone comes to the door, and you see a guy sort of arrives. He looks around. He opens the door. He's wearing simple clothing. He has he has sort of sleeves rolled up. He has sort of various sort of bandages around his arms and hands. Plenty of sort of what look like old sort of bandages and cuts. And he looks around. He's a very strong-looking individual, very hardy, leathered face and short dark hair. And he steps in, looks around, and he's holding what appears to be sort of an unraveled scroll. And he looks over, sees Clay at the bar, nods, and marches over with purpose. And as you guys are drinking, you overhear his conversation as he sort of puts the scroll down, and he says, all right, Clay, had a couple of barrels unfortunately got broken along the way, but most of your shipments there. Oh, and there was someone else threw something in as well. There was a crate or something. Apparently, it's here to be delivered. It's on with the rest of the order. Do you want me to bring it round back? And he's like, well, what is it? And he's like, I don't know. It's not addressed to anyone. All right. Okay. And he goes outside, and you watch as sort of like Clay steps out back. You see a short woman step behind the bar in commoner clothing and sort of take over the bar work. And he walks in with like carrying a huge sort of keg over one shoulder with relative ease, and much out back. And a couple more fellas walk in, and they sort of carry these barrels inside, and they put them down in the back room. And finally, they bring in a crate. This crate is It doesn't seem to be too heavy. One guy sort of carries it in himself, and the box is maybe sort of it's maybe about 2 foot across, and it's cubed. And he comes in with this wooden crate, and as he does, suddenly he stops, and there is a sudden bang as he drops it on the floor and backs away from it quickly. And he looks back and looks around panicked and begins sort of trying to wipe himself down, sort of like wiping his hands, on his shirt, on his pants legs. Sort of, what the fuck is that? And everyone sort of turns to see what this is. And dropped on the floor, the crate has sort of like partially come undone. You see the nailed down lid has popped out slightly. But there appears to be a trail of red that has followed the crate in. It's not a constant trail. It's just sort of individual drop marks. And he seems to be trying to wipe red off his hands, which he's getting on his clothes and stuff. And he looks like he's panicked. He grabs a jug and just of ale, grabs someone's drink, much to their annoyance, and sort of washes his hands in ale and looks at the box. And everyone just sort of stares at it and leans away from this box. How does Kasna and her drinking friend react?
Let's fucking open the box, lads!
What's in the
Lads!
What's in the box?
lads? Let's get some cans.
Casa will probably stumble over because she's intrigued by the box, and she'll like look at everyone that's like, what the fuck are you so scared of? And she'll open, or try to open.
Yeah, it comes off easily enough. Kasna, you see the contents of the box. It's sort of, you take the top off, the sides fall open, and you see a severed head. The bottom jaw has been broken quite clearly and torn off, and there is the top half of the head is mounted to what looks like a metal plate. And there is a spike that drives through one of the eye sockets and sort of nails it in place. The other eye is lifeless and staring out, glassy like a dead fish, cold. And laying on the bottom jaw has sort of been extended, pulled down, and the tongue lays like a carpet that has been unfurled. And laying on the tongue are 3 eyeballs, all of which are tied together by the optical nerve in a cluster in the center, in a triangle.
Fucking bitches. Do I recognize the head?
You would recognize this as a certain individual who you had dealings with in the bard's house.
The one who
Slightly pointed
ran.
ears. Yes.
How did that guy end up in there?
Roll me a perception check real quick.
Okay.
Or a medicine check.
Can I use stuff out of Unearthed Arcana? I'd like to be a glamour bard.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm gonna say yes. But yeah, I will. I may have to look it over.
I've got a 1.
You see this display of gore, and it sort of makes you feel a little queasy, to be honest. But it's probably just you've drunk a little too much.
Gregor, take a look at this.
Well, at least it's not one of ours.
Yes, at least we're all alive and well. I'm glad of that. Well, they clearly know that we have some interest in them now. I don't think we can hide from them much longer. This man clearly couldn't.
I am back. I heard something about looking at something. I will take a look.
Gregor, roll me a perception check or an investigation or a medicine.
Is it alright if you roll that for me, Louise?
Yeah, what?
I will
Yes.
do so. Don't you worry,
Thank you.
buddy. I got your back. Also, I think I realized that I rolled your perception in place of mine. So I'll roll mine in place of yours. You got a 14. Congratulations.
A 14. You sort of. So hold on. So who actually sees it? Who did you roll?
14 would have been mine.
Okay, right. So
But
yeah.
it can
So
be Gregor's.
Gregor, you look over it and you just sort of see a head, a trophy of some sort. You're not really sure what it is, but it's probably art. That's probably what someone will say it is. It's probably fucking art. Bunch of twats. After sort of staring at it for a few seconds and sort of shaking your head, Kazna, you look down and you realize there is actually something carved into the tablet that this is being displayed upon.
What is it?
That's fucking
Yeah.
art right there.
That's Rorik just fucking poncy fucking art mages.
What
No
kind of
disrespect.
art have you two been looking at?
The art of war. He drinks. But yeah, he his head is mounted above some script that is written in common, and it says, "We are not to be crossed. We are not to be followed. See the price others have paid. Consider if you are willing to pay it yourself. We are
Oh,
always
fuck
watching."
these guys.
I suggest we follow them. Absolute fuckers. We are not to be followed. If we give a shit. Gregor, Rorik, does this head in a box frighten you by any chance?
Rorik just sort of laughs, and sort of ponders it for a second as if, actually. Oh, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. So it has that moment of, oh, maybe it does. No, it doesn't. Yeah, and he comes over and he says, so, what do you want? What's happening? Why are people mailing you heads?
Oh, and this happens to us sometimes.
It's fan mail, mostly. But
Right. Yeah, I should
I
never
thought
saw
you were the
fucking P.O. box. That was a mistake.
I thought you guys were the undying heroes, because that very much looks like a dead hero.
right, well,
No, he's a
remember
bad guy.
moments
no.
ago where I spilled out my entire life story to you guys and you said, oh, great idea, let's go get drunk. And I said,
No.
fantastic idea.
When
Or
is-
are we all too
when is
fucking
that? He told me a life story. Oh, was it good?
It was incredible.
I bet it was.
I like the fact like Kazner's actually told us like her entire backstory and like Rorik and
I
Gregor
feel
just
like I really opened up to you as well.
Yes, quite. I suggest we get the whole team together. We face this problem head on because I know I sure as hell have seen a lot worse than a head in a box, and I know that you have too. We've been through more than this. We've faced more than this. This doesn't scare us.
There
I
is an
think
old
it does.
German saying.
Hmm.
There is a lot worse than head in a box.
aye.
What an
As this-
appropriate saying.
Right. It's very specific and underused in my
You
opinion.
really
Because-
must teach me more of these sayings one day. Greg.
because it is said that even bad head is still kind of good. Hey!
Right. Well, I never thought about that. I never thought about it that way before.
You can't make this shit up.
But now you've used it. I get it. And right, let's go find Zune and Aureus.
Rorik stands up, nods, slaps Gregor's ass, and marches off to go get Gavin.
He's gone really sexually aggressive towards Gregor.
When you do fetch Gavin, please remind him of the armor that he left inside the room. I wouldn't want him to leave it behind.
Oh yeah, Gavin, I completely forgot he existed. Come on, Gavin! Yeah, so I'm off to get
Remember
Zune
the
and
armor inside of the room. It's very
Sort of armor in the room. Yeah,
Amu.
I head outside.
That's all I heard from Will Heads. Amu.
That's all
Yeah, so
I was trying to
If
think
you're
by.
off to get Zune, should I fetch our elven friend?
Good idea.
Hey, meet back here.
That's one big happy fucking family.
Yay! Let's go. Da-da-da-da.
All right, I head
So-
out to find Zune.
I'll head out to
Yes.
find Oris.
So, a small point. Zune has Zune. The one thing I like about Zune is Zune. It's
Is
really
dead.
easy to track. It's really easy to track her movements because she tells everyone where she's fucking off to. So, Gregor, you step outside. Where the fuck are you going to look for Zune?
I look for the nearest dead child or burned village or
Okay, there is.
Like- person who looks like they've had their soul crushed by some like sarcastic remark.
God, she was such a great character. Why are you reminding me?
It's like a highlight reel that's playing out in the market as you go to the house.
You go around into the stables. You find a dead body in the stables.
Who's the body of?
There's an old man who's dead in the stables. She just fucking left there for no reason. She murdered this senile old man.
After he gave me a hand.
I nod knowingly. All right, and now I go CSI on this guy, and I'm like, right, where could she have gone from here?
You sort of lead down. Give me a medicine check, Louise, on behalf of Gregor, my friend.
I would love to. Hang on a momento. Medicine, you say?
Indeed. Some CSI level shit.
That's a 10.
On a 10, it is your professional opinion that this man
Dead.
is dead. You look him over. This be a dead man. Just as dead as Will is right this second. So, this man is entirely dead. That's what you realize.
That's good. I guess I just head out in a direction. I mean, where I think she might have headed, and I'll ask people if they've seen her.
Yeah. So as you go to head out, you sort of stand looking out of the stable, sort of trying to figure out what is going on and where to head. When suddenly you feel a breath on the back of your neck. There is a very forlorn-looking horse behind you.
No, I was prepared for anything but this. I can't.
As that moment is so powerful, and so beautiful, and so heart-wrenching that Will has just swiped his modem and fuck this. Morty looks and stares coldly and sadly, sensing something. And we're going to cut now to
Will, who's back?
Will,
back.
yeah. Will, you feel this breath in the back of your neck. As you turn, you look into the eyes of a very sad, forlorn horse. And I think Will is gone again. Nope, he's back.
He's maybe there?
I'm kind of here. It's probably best if you move on if it's not too.
Yeah. So, Louise, Kazna, you get drinking and you are going off to find Aureus.
Sí. That is
Sí.
my plan. Sí, senor.
Yes.
Casner is now Spanish. Sí.
I like it. So yeah, you come out of the, the tavern.
I'm just glad that Morty's
Yeah.
still alive.
You come out of the tavern, and as you sort of head towards this conclave, you see people in the distance. They appear to be. There are no candles anymore. All the candles have been doused, and you see people packing up tents. You see sort of a mass of people working together, packing up tents. and other people returning with what looks to be farming equipment, like simple things like plows, hoes, that sort of thing, shovels and rakes and all manner of other bits and pieces. And there are some people who are they have what look to be clubs, and they are beating at branches on the tree. And it appears to be they are knocking forth sort of fruit, seeds, that sort of thing, and gathering them in baskets. It's a very odd thing to sort of come, but everything around you has been pretty, and they're sort of miserable and condemned. And then you return to this place and find that it's almost industrious, almost hopeful. It's fucking horrible. Yeah. What is this shit?
Only Aureus could be behind something this diabolical. But it's lovely to see some teamwork. You, random person. Have you seen Aureus here around? I'm assuming so.
She nods and smiles and says, Master Aureus, he is speaking with the Lord.
And where would he be doing that?
In the glade. But you can't enter, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, I'm going to. She's going to start walking.
She steps in front of you and sort of holds her hands out and says, no, you misunderstand. It is sacred ground.
The very ground I walk on is sacred. And I need to speak to Aureus.
She turns to sort of confer with one of the satires about satires. They're entirely a comedic brand. Yeah, she turns to speak to one of the satyrs as if to confirm that this is this a thing? Is she still learning the religious thing? Is it true that wherever this woman walks becomes holy ground? And in that split second, Kaslin just walks the fuck past her and into the trees.
I'm just like, fuck this.
Aureus, you need to work on your private guard.
You need to get some better security.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Do I see him as I come in? Or
I'm enclosed inside of Gnarls. Yeah, I don't really know anything outside going on outside.
Yeah. So you approach. You see what appears to be a huge dome. It essentially looks like a tree canopy that is is missing the trunk. It is very close to the ground. All of the branches and leaves have sort of been brought together, and they all sort of whirl around in a clockwise fashion, forming like a protective sphere. This definitely wasn't here before. This reeks of druid bullshit.
Oh, disgusting. Aureus, are you in there? Knock, knock. Anybody home?
Would you say that I can hear this?
Yeah, she's specifically calling your name. It's that kind of trigger.
How long have I been in my reverie for? How long has this been since I entered reverie?
I'm gonna say you guys were drinking for quite some time. You've had some reverie. Okay,
sure. I was supposed hearing this, I would command Gnarls Barkley to open.
You watch as before you leaves and branches sort of part, forming an entranceway, a tunnel that leads into inside. You can see the inside is sort of it's a hut of sorts, but there are bits of sort of trees and branches that are forming patterns. It almost looks like electrical cabling is hanging down from the ceiling, but all of it is like vine-like and covered in bark in places. And Aureus sits in the center of all of this.
What is it, sister of the devil woman?
What a charming greeting. We really are getting to know each other better, aren't we? We're moving, leaving.
Where to?
Towards Lymore.
I have had a vision from Sylvanus. He wishes me to go there to restore balance as well.
Ah, then we
gladly travel with you.
Our paths are aligned. Fantastic. Gregor is, as we speak, fetching my devil sister, as you speak. And Gavin is getting prepared. I suggest you finish your whatever this is around here. I mean, there's some people outside. Did you know they were there?
Yes, they worship Sylvanus now.
Right. good. Okay.
Yes, it is good, indeed.
Well, this is not really my area of expertise, so.
Speaking of which, what is that guy? What is that guy's name? Danley?
Do?
I don't know. There's some guy that tried to steal Oris thought he was stealing it.
Oh, the Stealer Man.
Danley.
Danley.
Okay.
Has anyone seen Danley, the one in charge of bringing back the gems?
A couple of people shake their head and say they have not returned yet.
Oh, now this is my area of expertise. Wherefore could he be?
Who went with Danley? Did he go alone?
No, 5 of them went in total.
Which way did they go?
They point north. There are still established. There's a small town, a few days' travel to the north.
Very well. I don't have time to wait for them. I will return to this grove in time. When I return, I shall bind, assuming that they bring back the gem pieces. I shall bind one of the satyrs here to continue the teachings of Sylvanus.
And if they don't, do you not think you should leave your followers here with a backup plan, just in case your good friend doesn't return?
If I return and they do not have the gem pieces, I will have to hunt them down. They shan't hide for me very long.
Now you're speaking my language.
And with that, Orius to say, I must be on my way.
People look worried and sort of look around and start working harder, much harder, as they begin to sort of like less sort of disassemble the tents and more tear them down. And you would realize that these are people tearing down their own.
Have they begun tilling fields? Have they begun planting crops at all?
No, not yet.
They're in the process of doing that.
You realize you've given them 4 hours, and you're like, "Where are my gems? Why is the ground?"
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they're starting to till the land or what is their progress here.
They're gathering the tools. They're gathering the tools together and putting together a workforce. But
Doing too slow.
This is why, like, they're genuinely panicking. You're like, "Where are my gems?" It's like they had to travel. Man, you're asking for 1,000 gold pieces worth of gems.
Listen, we're a demanding group, okay?
I fucking know. I'm your DM.
Okay, so has it been sunlight since I got my staff? Would it recharge the 1d6 plus 4 staff?
The dawn.
Here, I'll roll that for you right now because I say 1d6 plus 4. That's what I get back for charges. Nice.
Cool. 8. Sweet. The sun sort of is now cresting. And it's throwing sort of harsh shadows everywhere as daylight is fast approaching. I will say
birds nearby. I have to do this. Are there any birds nearby that I can see?
Yes.
Sure. I'm going to use Staff of the Woodlands to cast Animal Friendship on a bird. They need to succeed on a Wisdom saving throw, or it's charmed by me for the duration.
It fails. It voluntarily fails. You have not done anything. You are in touch with nature. It doesn't resist. It will willingly give itself to.
Okay. Yeah. So charming the bird, letting it know. I'm going to use speak with aminals.
Speak with the animals.
Aminals.
Try speak with English and then try speak with animals.
Yes. Aminals. So speak with animals, again, ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with the beast of predation. I'm going to communicate with one of those birds that I now know is friendly with me, and to let them know that if there's any trouble in this grove, that they are to remember that and hang out near this grove. And I'm going to mark the bird with a. I guess I'm going to look for something. If you would allow Orius to craft some sort of like a necklace or something for the bird, or some sort of marking for the bird, Orius would like to mark that bird in particular.
Yeah, it sort of comes down to you, and you. I get. How do you mark a bird?
I would fashion some sort of
spray paint like a tag on its back.
I would like to say I'd fashion some sort of necklace for the bird that it wouldn't be able to take off, and I would let the bird know that this is to know that to identify the bird better.
Like an anklet tag, that sort of thing.
Sure, something like that.
Yeah, so
I would assume Orius would know how to do that. being a druid.
You take something and you basically fashion it round, and you take a particularly you go over and you find a sort of clutch of weeds, tear one forth, and what you do is sort of run a blade across, and inside it's sort of quite a beautiful purple as opposed to sort of green on the outside, and turning it inside out, you tie it round, and you have this sort of little purple tag that attaches to its ankle. What are you commanding it to do?
I'm just commanding it to reside here within these trees and to kind of act as a watch, to make sure nothing awry is going on. I would that's what I would know, but I would ask the bird to just keep watching, to remember as best as it can the events that are happening here.
Yeah, it nods, and it seems to. You're going to, so it can. Does that mean it can? Yeah, it can give information. So essentially, it sort of inquires as to what to do if it perceives a threat. What do you want it to do?
I would just tell it to flee if there's a threat, and if it's not here, I would assume that there is some sort of threat to it. Because Aureus can also speak with the trees, but he's not going to tell anyone that. He's gonna make it. He's making an effort to make it very visible that he's telling this bird that it's now the Watcher. Is there anyone nearby that seems to be taking leadership of these people, by the way? Or are they just kind of all acting on their own accord?
There is the guy with the halberd appears to be sort of commanding people. He seems to have military background, natural sort of born leader. But he seems to be sort of helping out. He's not just sort of ordering people around. He's pulling his weight as well. But he's giving them sort of like focus, organizing sort of where tools are to be deposited. And there is someone who seems to be in charge of sort of like, she's sort of speaking to one of the satyrs. She's actually speaking to two of them, as everyone else is very busy. And she's sat on the floor cross-legged, and she has brought what appears to be the side of a tent that she's just sort of cut a big square out of, and she has ink and a quill and is writing sort of notes on this huge bit of makeshift parchment, making as many notes as possible. She looks like the sort of, just like she's cramming for class. She's studying as hard as she can, trying to learn as much as possible.
Yeah, I would call the mercenary with the sword over, and I would approach the satyrs, and I would in front of the women, and I would bring them over to the two satyrs, and I would Aureus would then instruct the two that they are now in charge of leading these people and organizing the farm effort here. And Aureus would then instruct them that he will return when he has time to.
Okay.
But I would tell them that I have the wildlife watching to ensure that the trees are being watched over.
They nod. He takes it entirely without response. He's sort of like, you mentioned sort of the wildlife keeping watch. He just nods as if that's entirely what he was expecting, and goes back to sort of managing. He gives a short bow, goes back to managing the people, sort of helping them bring a cart that is sort of covered with what appear to be farming tools that you would recognize, some of which appear to be similar to the ones that Rorik was making. These big sort of stacks of plow blades and that sort of thing. And then she turns around and sort of studies the trees and looks really drawn in by the idea that nature is watching over her. But she just smiles and nods and goes back to writing.
Okay, and with that, Aureus would then look to Kazna and said, "Things seem to be in order here. We can begin to travel."
Okay.
Kazna, have you lost your tongue?
We should head back to the tavern. I told Gregor we'd wait for him there.
We do still have our rewards there at the tavern. Do we not?
Indeed we do.
I wish to spend the gold in exchange for goods I will need for the travel.
That's not half a bad idea. We'll collect some of our earnings and collect some supplies as well, and hopefully have enough by the time that Gregor returns.
Okay. So yeah, you guys go back and Rorik is there, and you notice that
Oh, Gnarls would come with me too, correct?
Yeah, Niles, oh, of course,
Sure.
yeah. Niles just sort of like walking like a boss behind you.
I would
finger
also,
gumming people.
or as well to tell Gnarls where we're going, just so that Gnarls knows. We're going to the end, and we're going to go to Lymore.
He shakes his head and sort of like his branches rustle. You see a couple of birds sort of take flight, not prepared for. I mean, granted, the tree's moving, but suddenly shaking violently. It's enough to get them out of its hair. And hold on. Sorry, I'll give you a new character sheet real quick. Just save you, so I'd rather.
Sweet. I got some pretty sweet stats there. You see that 17 I rolled?
Yeah, I know. Oh, you see that? You see?
See, Josh was just helping you by killing your character.
Exactly.
He didn't do it. It was Scraticus. I blame Scraticus.
Hashtag blame
Hashtag blame Scraticus.
That needs to become a thing. So yeah, you reconvene. You see that he shakes his head and he says, "I do not know of where this Lime is."
Yes, neither do I, but I suppose I've made it this far without knowing the land. I'm sure that I can get us there. Sylvanus, I have commuted with Sylvanus, and he wishes us to travel there.
He chuckles, which is to Louise just sounds like creaking of bark, but he chuckles and in Sylvan says, "I fear you are the only one who truly does know these lands. Others have fallen so far."
I'm not sure what to make of that. We've encountered some danger.
He nods. "Now we travel together and we tackle the challenges of Sylvanus's great work together in harmony."
Yes, it seems that there needs to be some sort of restoration there. Sylvanus showed me a dead and unforgiving land.
He you see him sort of pause, and as you're walking sort of west towards the tavern, he turns to the south and looks. And if you follow his gaze, even from this distance, you can see as the elevation drops off slightly in the distance, the mountain range behind you that you pass through, the Black Mountains, follows down towards the coast. But that is the only landmark that you can really make out clearly. It's due south more than sort of 20 to 30 miles as a heavy fog seems to hang over the lands, obscuring many natural sort of locations, anything sort of like great peaks of hills or mountains, trees, forest, anything like that. It's just swallowed by this fog. And you get the feeling that Niles does not want to go there, but he stands there and looks and nods and says, "It must be done."
Yes, if it were up to me, I would still be in the deep southern grasslands where I spend time communing with nature and hung out with the Sylvan and the Fae. But I have been called here by Sylvanus himself, as you have been called similarly.
He nods. And pretty much, yeah, he carries on in foreboding silence, realizing sort of the task that is before him. As simply, he sort of, I suppose it's a definite kinship moment. This is the sort of, you imagine he feels the dread that you felt when you first entered the wastelands to the east of the Black Mountains, the demonic wastes. That sort of absence of life or knowable life a natural life. And it seems once again you will be going to somewhere very disconnected from nature, and you share that dread. So yeah, you guys make your way back to the tavern. Niles takes route as before. Sort of people, you notice a couple of people have followed just to sort of study Niles, it seems. But as you head inside, you find that Gregor has sort of been gone for some time. Clay can affirm that he left a little while ago, and he took a horse, took Zoon's horse, to go and look for an individual, and he vanished entirely, as Will has. He vanished from the face of the earth. So sort of there's an awkward moment where Aureus and Kazna are sort of left alone waiting for people to return. And to break this up,
How was your day?
if it's okay, you sort of sit there and it's almost looking like you might have to make awful small talk for a second. And then, thankfully, the door opens and people look as a newcomer arrives in these familiar lands. It appears to be a half-elf.
I kill her immediately.
And if you just want to give a description of your character.
She's about 5'6". She's stunningly beautiful because that 17 went into charisma, and she's a half elf and it gets a +2. She's well endowed. She's pale cream skin. Think the girl from Brave, the Disney movie, but all grown up and totally sexified. Green eyes, and I don't know what kind of clothes she has yet, so we'll just say common clothes because she's from the area, because she's a folk hero. And if it's all right with you, I am going to come in kicking the door down and saying, I am absolutely thirsty. Clay, it's so good to see you. Where is your charming wife, my dearest friend in the whole world? Drow. Oh, hello. Hi.
Half-elf. Greetings.
Well, this is a pleasant surprise.
Aureus just kind of like shuffles away from Zoon, escaping the small talk. Is there a lot of people in here, by the way?
Yeah, it's quite quiet considering it's early sort of morning.
Because the more people that are nearby, the more Aureus feels sick to his stomach. So
yeah, it's quite quiet, to be completely honest. There's not a lot of people up this early. It's mostly people getting their stuff together and leaving because they're leaving today or checking out. But yeah, this half elf is standing there, sort of smiling.
Half elf. What? So I know different half elves. What's the other half of? What's that? What part half elf are you? Are you
human and elf? Just wood elf,
what kind
I
of
guess.
elf?
Wood elf, I guess. Whatever pansy fucking surface elves. I mean, great family descending lines now, right? Yes, I'm wood elf. Let's go with the wood elf.
Maybe you're a half drow. Maybe you're a half elf.
No,
wood elf.
I think I'm gonna. This is gonna be my first time playing a good character in a while, so we're gonna go with half wood elf, very friendly, looking, perhaps pulling out a lyre. If I know the Song of Lymore, I'll start jamming that out right away. I learned this new song today. Would you like to hear it?
You unfortunately don't seem to know the it's a very unknown song, but I mean, you're sort of there. You see there are people around, and there's much sort of entertainment to be had, and Clay looks up at you, and
I give him a wink.
Shakes his head and just says, "It was a really bad idea to come back here."
Why?
And he snapped his fingers, and 4 guys stand up, big fucking guys, walk over to you. And Kazna, you're sort of looking at this half-elf as she sort of stands there looking confused at the situation, and Clay mutters, "Next time, pay your fucking tab."
Oh, come on! Can't we just all work this out?
And as she goes to sort of raise a complaint, one of them stabs her in the side of the skull with a dagger.
What?
And she collapses dead on the floor.
What is that? I'm so fucking. I hate this game.
And we suddenly find ourselves looking at a small child who is in the process of rummaging through pockets on an immolated corpse. And suddenly, this corpse's hand shoots up, grabs the child's throat, and snaps it. And we're going to wrap up there, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't handle this campaign anymore. I have real tears.
Nah. Nah.
I just made her. I just brought her to life. How could you do this?
So, guys, thank you guys, everyone, for joining us tonight on Encounter Roleplay, which has been a little bit of an unconventional stream. I do apologise. Obviously, we've had technical difficulties with Will being in Canada, having left the realm itself and defecting to Canada. But it's Commonwealth. It's sort of okay. We're going to do some hooks, some plugs, go around, find out where you can find all these wonderful
You can't see me staring at you in Zoom right now, so I want you to feel my enmity.
We'll get some feedback. So let's start off with, I don't know. Let's start off with Arrow. Where can we? How did you find tonight's episode? Where can we find you? What do you do on the internet? And why should we care?
I thought tonight's episode was a lot of fun, especially for Aureus, who seems to now have a kind of a cult following, I guess, of Sylvanus. And we'll see where that goes, because eventually I think he wants to travel to these corrupted druids that are essentially holding back all the food from all the other. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's
back the food.
They are. So it's sounding like it's a hostile takeover of farmable land.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very druidic to him. So he needs to. Maybe he could use this new cult to his advantage. But we'll see how that goes. Yeah, a lot of fun tonight, especially with the Zune dying. Maybe I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, you can find me at Airho TV on Twitch or Airho TV on Twitter. I run my own campaign with the Heroes of the Storm community, which is a MOBA that I play professionally. I do that every Sunday night at about 8 Central, 9 Central, depending on, whenever we can start based on the HCC matches. You can also find me on the weekends on HCC, Blizz Heroes, Twitch.tv, Blizz Heroes. So our team's in the playoffs, so wish us luck. That's all I got.
Fantastic. Okay. So if you want to post some links and plugs and stuff in chat and get following Arrow, let's cut to, I kind of want to cut to Will real quick, just in case Will vanishes.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for putting up my internet issues. Thank you to Tia for hosting the stream today. I appreciate it. Tomorrow's stream should be all covered as well. We should be all good for tomorrow's 1 p.m. Eastern, Masks of Nyarlathotep, Call of Cthulhu. Then 4 p.m. we've got the Return to Strahd once again. So join us again for that, my friends. And all my links and shit like that.
Yeah, all links and stuff down below. Yeah, and obviously, if you haven't, check out our wonderful selection of podcasts that you can get your grubby little mitts all over and relish in. We have the fantastic Turncloaks, which new episode released yesterday, so definitely check that stuff out. As I don't want to give away any spoilers, but if you're not following Turncloaks, you certainly should. And speaking of amazing podcasts, I'll pass you over now to Louise, who can say a little bit about feedback about tonight and also tell you a little bit about WonderQuest.
Hello. Yes, I hate you, and I will never forgive you. First and foremost.
And we're gonna take away from you.
That's enough from you.
Yeah.
That was incredible, though. Oh my god! I don't have words. I'm sure I'll have words later, like 4 a.m. When I start screaming at you in Discord. But we'll wait.
Yeah.
Four letter words, mostly.
Yeah. But oh my god, guys, if you wanted to, you can find me on Twitter at No More No Less or at Twitch Accidental Legend. And if you want to hear my voice but not see my face, you can do so on the WonderQuest podcast, which is part of the Encounter Roleplay Podcast Network, and it's super cool, super fun. We have a new episode coming out tomorrow. Wow, that's soon to right now. Yeah. And it's great. It's a fun time.
3 minutes away, and
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah, indeed. Get hyped. So I guess we'll wrap up there. It was lovely.
Yeah, you better fucking run.
We will just quickly. It's not really worth.
I'm
mention,
Laura
but,
Lanya. Find me on Twitch. I have words.
I cannot wait for the call after this ends. I can't wait.
This is good. Yeah. So Laura Lania, thoughts, feelings, feedback.
You know, Alyssa was a great character for the 15 seconds she was alive. And I love that you really, you know, asked me questions in the private DM to player chat of what does she look like? How do you feel? Tell me about her background, you know? And I'm writing down stuff and getting ready to go. And oh, look, you're fucking dead. That was my favorite part, was the dying again, twice in one fucking show.
In an hour.
That's
in
cool.
an hour.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's good.
Shout out to Scratigus, my main man. You, my homie, my buddy.
Change your tune, young lady.
You're great. You're great. And I think I'm gonna need therapy after this episode, but we're good.
I'm changing
Okay.
exclamation point complaint back to blame Josh, as it should be at all times.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you very much to all my fantastic cast members for putting up with me this evening. Thank you everyone who donated and subscribed this evening, and all of you guys who got involved with wonderful viewer decisions and donations of a fucking red dragon as Clay's wife. That was wonderful. That was one of my favorite things so far. So again, it's been lovely seeing you all guys, but I am not very practiced at doing this outro. I don't do this outro. This is Will's outro.
Until next time.
But yeah, we will be back tomorrow as stated. But until next time, try not to roll too many nat ones or get your character killed violently and brutally, because we want to be there laughing en masse when you do. Good night, everyone.
Yeah, good night.
Yeah, but you do.
Oh, I guess I should stop the stream now. Bye, guys.